Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Ludi Tonight, the Sunday night broadcast. My name is Saf. I'm your host. Welcome to week two. Week two, you guys. I'm here on the mic with Nell and Broken Pinky. Oh, it's so nice to see you guys. How's it going?
It's going great. I'm happy to be here tonight. Happy to be here with my good friend Nell. We got a nice Div 4 set here. We have Rule of 4 versus Seabay up in front of us.
Yep, I'm happy to be here too. I'm really excited to see the teams. I'm really excited.
Good. We're so happy to have you guys here. Yeah, so looking up at the roster at the top, you can see Rule of 4 and Seabay are actually both 0 and 1 currently in their roster, or in their Ludi stint in this season so far. So both of them looking to receive their first win tonight, but only one of them will. And we're going to see and try to find that out tonight. But why don't we go ahead and take a look at our maps and things, and Pinky and Nell, I'll toss it over to y'all when you're ready, and we can just go ahead and chit chat, okay? So let us know what you think.
Let's do some chit chat. And we have game one, Zones Mako Mart, very classic map mode. We've been playing on it for years. We all know how it works for the most part, especially these two teams here, banned from low ink that caliber. So I feel like this is a great map to sort of get ourselves familiar with how these teams want to play.
It's a great baseline map just to see what each team is all about, and I think that both teams are going to be kind of exploring what the other team is capable of. This is a great map to showcase that, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff's going to work on here, especially, short range stuff. Last night we had another Div 4 set broadcasted, and we saw just a lot of short range stuff like Tri-Slosher and X-Slosher working really well there. On the side of Nanotraslin. I don't know if either of these teams are going to adopt a similar approach. I would imagine not. But I'm just curious to see what these two teams have to offer. Going off of week one, I believe Seabay won their week one, unless there's a mislabeling somewhere in there. 5-1 set versus Duck and Cover. Rule of 4, though, had a game 9 set that they unfortunately lost to Nanotraslin. So I'd imagine after that kind of heartbreaker, you want some redemption in week 2.
Oof. I mean, we all are looking forward to seeing a game 9, but for the sake of these teams, I hope that they are able to fight with all they've got and get clean wins. I don't want them to suffer enough through game 9. But yeah, I'm curious to see which one of these teams will come out on top. I know that both teams are powerhouses. They just got low-level banned. They're entering mid-level, and I think we have a lot of strong contenders in this div, including Seabay and Rule of 4. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they're going to pick and choose for this map.
Yeah, I mean, Div 4 is always a really fun division to watch, just because, it's where teams start to really find themselves, Again, they cross that, barrier of sorts of low ink, and now they're kind of just thrust into the real world of Splatoon, if you will. And it's fun to see how people sort of adapt to that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see, game 2 is Clam's Crab Leg. I'm excited to see that as well. I want to see teams take space, and if you let it happen, it's gonna be a slippery slope if you just allow it to. So hopefully, I'm curious to see how that'll happen too, but I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. Let's go back to Mako Mart.
Yeah, it is kind of a weird dichotomy, Zones Mako Mart it can be kind of fast-paced, lead and momentum can switch very quickly. Clam's Crab Leg, that is a slog of a match. Just you're neutral for what it feels like forever, and then someone scores, and the game just, like you said, now it's a very slippery slope from there. So, a bit of an awkward 1-2 for these teams. A lot of adjustment to get focused on, but that's going to come later. Right now, we have about 30 seconds remaining until we get into game 1 here.
Yep. We're just 30 seconds away from getting into game 1. I am curious to see what comps that they're going to come out with. What do you expect to see on the field? What are you looking forward to?
I mean, in this level of play, I feel like it's fairly reasonable to expect a good amount of shooters. V-shots, zaps, some gals as well, just strong fighting weapons. I do see some icons here. There we see Tenerbella from Kronos, Gabling at the Sultana Stamper. Range Blaster, Carbon Deco, Pencil Splash on the other side there.
All right, here we go. All right, so both teams have some great paint available to them. They both have zaps. They both have... Never mind, one of them has a zap, the other has a splash. We see the tent coming out. Yeah, hopefully they'll get something through there.
Yeah, I mean, Tent is very strong on this map to patrol the stacks there, so I'm excited to see that on the side of, I believe that is Seabay over there. Might be Rule 4, though. Two down in the zone, though. Wow, yeah. Orange team off to an early cap, and Pencil forced to jump out.
I'm curious to see how they're gonna retake. It looks like the pencil here is trying to farm for cooler, trying to get that tent off of their area there. It looks like they're just being collapsed upon.
Yeah, great crab tank from Identity though to extend the advantage, but they're going to get taken down by the opposing crab tank by Epic on the side of Rule of 4 it seems, and Seabay just undeterred going to be pushing forward with the zone cap as long as possible. First minute down, already below 40 points with Rule of 4 trying to fight their way back into mid.
Looks like Seabay is going to get the cap here after a strong contender against the zone. The clock just keeps ticking down. It looks like Rule of 4 has 2 down. They're going to have to coordinate something quickly if they're going to get this zone here.
Ooh, Carbon goes down. Identity going to get more picks. 3 down, delayed wipe, and yeah, that is going to be this orange team here. I believe it's actually Rule of 4 looking at the rosters. I could be incorrect, but regardless, this orange team going to be taking game 1.
Seabay was the one that took game 1.
Maybe. Yeah, Seabay is going to take it in 100-0.
Awesome. It just seemed like I said before, it was a little bit of a slippery slope on this one too. Makomart, you really have to have a solid game plan to get back in there, and it just looks like they didn't have the time to formulate something. I saw the Carbon was really, really trying to just chip away at them, and it just seemed like a frustrating battle. But hopefully we can start fresh with crab leg clams. What do you expect to see here?
I mean, I definitely expect to see some adjustment. I mean, like you said, very, different comps we saw in that game, but I feel like just the pencil Carbon Splash just kind of struggled to have a good plan for sort of retaking space back into mid. And that's going to be a big, issue on game 2 is that if you lose your mid control, things can kind of just fall apart pretty quickly. So I would imagine we're going to see some defensive play. I like the tent that I saw in the last game. I like the pencil as well. Those are 2 really strong weapons on this map, but I'm just curious how both of the teams are going to be playing around those strong pieces.
Absolutely. I am really looking forward to seeing play on the grates, how that's going to work out. If we're going to have a tent on the grates, if someone's going to try Zukaing through there, or if they're going to have a distraction going up top left in order to take the right flank. There's really any way that you can get points here on Crab Leg. I have been swindled by the right side before, so.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of ways to score on this map. It is pretty wide open, but teams typically like to just go the avenue, just forcing it up the ramp. And that can be kind of difficult because it's a very strong defensive position for the enemy team, and it is kind of hard to push on those grates there on the right side just because it's very exposed, no cover. But if you are able to launch a sort of pincer attack, it's very hard to stop, especially because those grates are high ground on the defending team.
What is your normal plan for a defensive push here? What would you do? I normally would probably try and get somebody out on grates, or just trying to set up a sort of defensive position to make sure to get everybody off of there. It's quite a difficult thing to defend once you get that ball rolling, but it's happened before, and we can have reverse pushes that have taken games, and it's really fun to watch. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, I mean, I think defensively specials are going to be very, important, and offensively as well. Having like something like Azuka that just kind of busts down the door is very, very catastrophic on this kind of map. Especially, if you are going to be pushing with a tent shield, as one of these teams seems to be doing as part of their game plans. So, I don't know, having strong defensive specials like strikes or even bubble to keep the enemy at bay for as long as possible is nice. I like that you said, having someone positioned on the grates, ideally with longer range, to sort of patrol both avenues of pushing there. But sometimes at a certain point, you just have to take a brawl in your own plat and hope it works out.
Oh, absolutely. I like that you said bubble. We don't see a lot of bubble here in Western play, so I'm really excited to maybe see that enter the competitive scene in the coming days as a contestant to Zuka. We need more defensive specials, I think. I think that is something that I'm really looking forward to seeing, if any of these teams have those.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's been a lot of controversy, is a way to put it, of just about where the West is in the meta. But I do agree that in mid-level especially, as well, low-level in general, Zuka is kind of ever-present. So Bubbler is very strong in those kinds of metas where Zuka is as strong as it is. Just as a way for solid defense. And just having that option is incredibly nice at your disposal. So, I mean, I could see stuff like a junior here. Maybe something like a roller or a blaster. We did see, I believe, CBA pulling out the range blaster in that last game. So, I mean, who's to say? Maybe that, they have that in their repertoire.
I mean, if they have a range blaster, I'm looking forward to seeing Wavebreaker sweep here, obviously.
Yeah, range blaster, known for its incredible Wavebreaker game.
I wish that. So yeah, it looks like our teams are currently in the weapon selection screen right now, so we won't have to think about that much longer. But I do like hypothesizing if they can pull off a Wavebreaker sweep. Yeah.
Man, I'm so glad that CRV is out.
I know you're really excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited to not have to deal with Wavebreaker anymore. It is no longer wave breaking time. It is game 2 time, as we're gonna head right in. I believe these teams are gonna switch places on the team just for a little bit of ease to formatting. CRB is gonna be coming back alongside a V-Shot with the pencil. Other team staying the same other than Rice going on the 52 gal.
Alright, let's see. They are all running. There's a lot of swim speed on the pink team. I am curious to see what's gonna happen with that. Right now, we have nobody down so far. It's pretty stalemate. Everybody's just trying to get paint on the ground, get their toes in, trying to... There's one down on the side of C-Bay, it looks like. Or is that rule of 4? I'm not too sure. But the Carbon's trying to make things happen in mid here. They get 1 pick, they get 2. They got jumped out. Oh my goodness. Looks like they're just trying to make things happen in mid here so far.
Yeah, I think this is probably the map in the game where you see the most people jump out, and it looks like we finally have our roster situation a little bit figured out. So rule of 4 to take that last game is the pink team in this game. C-Bay currently 3 down, trying to get that respawn back into gear, but pushing with this 10 shield is very annoying for C-Bay to deal with here, and rule of 4 intends to use that to the best of their supposed means, and already rule of 4 has a ton of control in their hands.
Oh yeah, you can see that the 10th player currently has 7 clams. They're probably trying to make something happen here, and with 1 down on the side of C-Bay, this is their chance to push in here if they can make a ball, and it looks like that's exactly what they're doing. We see the 10th player trying to get control of top right, 1 down on the side of C-Bay. We see a score here. They're getting clams in, and it looks like there's only 1 up on the side of C-Bay, and that's a wipeout. Oh wow, okay, here's where the snowball starts. Let's see if we can get back in there.
Here's where the snowball starts to roll a little bit. Already another power cam trying to make his way into it, and it's going to do already down to 34. Rice is going to go down to late wipe on rule of 4 is going to end their push at 33, but 33 is one heck of a push to get things started on map.
That is a large lead to follow, Pinky. I am excited to see how they're going to get back in there. Looks like C-Bay's just trying to get back in mid. They're 2 down already, but they're holding a Zuka. Looks like the Zuka's popped right now. Can't seem to find anybody. Looks like they're getting a few people. There's 1 down on the side of rule of 4. Let's just see how this contest works out for them.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go back to a little bit of neutral here, as both these teams try to earn their way back into the enemy side, but it's so hard. Nice direct here.
That was a good direct.
BRB on the side of C-Bay. Try and get things started here. 2 down on rule of 4, delayed a little bit. Another pig onto Cronus, as well as CRB pushing forward with the Kraken, trying to find the pencil. That is definitely the key player on this match. But meanwhile, C-Bay trying to push from behind, just now has the power claim in their hands. They just didn't get it all the way to the enemy plat. And with 2 down on rule of 4, this is probably going to happen.
Yep, they're getting... Oh, this is the counter push that I've been waiting for. I'm really excited. They popped Cooler, they popped their specials. They are getting in there. It looks like... I hope that somebody's able to get in their clam in, but if not, it's okay. Ooh, just short, just short. I saw that they threw that ball. Hopefully C-Bay will be able to make something happen again. They have numbers advantage here, and they have space advantage, so I'm looking forward to seeing if they can make a power clam with this short amount of time, with this lead that they have.
Yeah, power clam is going to be entering the basket yet again. CRB going to go down a bit early, though. At this point, C-Bay wants all the members up they can have, especially that V-Shot holding 7 clams. Pencil comes back for the pity, but the V-Shot goes down.
And there's a
lot of clams. Power clam makes it in, just... Right now, scramble for clams for C-Bay. 1 more is going to take the lead for them, and they're going to do just that, and they have more clams from behind. Rule of 4 getting staggered a little bit. Only 2 players up, and C-Bay continuing to cycle in these scores almost to a knockout.
Oh my gosh, C-Bay has the power here. It looks like Rule of 4 is getting back on their feet, though. They're getting them off of that plat. I can see that it looks like the shot is sharking on the right side. I'm curious to see how that's going to work out for them. and they're jumping back just to make sure that they have the great positioning that they need in order to get another push going.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a really difficult position on this map, just fighting your way back in the mid. That pick from the 10 is going to be a great start, but the Pencil is going to find the revenge on them there. Going to be backing up onto their Grace, trying to take advantage of this high ground as best as possible. Minute left of regular time in this game. Cooler's going to be coming out here for C-Bay. Zipcaster at the ready for Rule of 4, but they go 2 down there in mid with just 50 seconds to go. That is not great for their chances of getting back to the other side of the map. So this is looking a little bit rough, but right now Rule of 4 trying to find whatever picks they can, and they're doing just that.
Oh my gosh, it's just 2 down and then 2 down and then 2 down. This is a very back and forth match. This seems to be very even and balanced, and I can't even predict who's going to be the one going out on top. It looks like a power clam is breaking right there for the side of Rule of 4. And 2 down on the side of C-Bay. I am sure that they can make something happen here, but do they have the clam economy for it? And it looks like they do. They're going to be pushing in through that tent with Cooler.
Yeah, just try to build it all up. 10 seconds of regular time. It might just have to happen here in overtime. 2 power clams in front of this basket, but they go 2 down at the wrong time. They're able to break the basket, but this power clam on its own is not going to be enough. They need even more beyond it. 2 extra clams, and Gabe is not even going to make it there before they go down. Right now, Rule of 4 is trying to cover, but they go 2 down on the ramp, and it seems like C-Bay is going to be able to hold on to their defense for just long enough and take game 2 in a nail-biter overtime.
That was a nasty fight. That was a really nasty fight. That overtime score was amazing, though. Their ability to fight, just be on the same ground as them, it's insane. I love it. That was definitely, made me sweat a little bit, though.
Yeah, that's just a scary game. The same thing happened yesterday in the other Div 4 match that we had. So, lightning strikes twice in Div 4 teams. We've had all the sets of 4E, of Division 4 Group E, this week on stream, and my goodness, they've just been a roller coaster the whole way through.
I'm pleased with the back and forth so far. It seemed like both teams were very even. It just seemed like it was always 2 down on either side. There was just no huge sweeps. It just seemed like a stalemate most of the game, but they were both strong in their own right. It was great. Now, we're headed over to Ship-Shaped Tower. What do you expect to see here? I expect to see Tent on Tower, maybe. I am excited for Tent on Tower.
Tent on Tower is always funny. You know what else is funny? CRB domination. Always love to see it. Never goes out of style. It's the coolest weapon in the game. Always just amazing every single time, so I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, hell yeah. I know that you are a range blaster believer and enjoyer
What do you mean?
Time. I mean, as a Splatling player, you guys are the worst paint thorns in my side I could have ever experienced. So, I hate you, but I love you.
Yeah, it's always that love-hate relationship between the RB and the backline, because the RB player's just saying, you can just shoot me, and the backline player says, well, you can just hit me. And yeah. Regardless, both sides hate the other.
Yep. It's a mutual hatred that we have, and it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something. There's, I don't know. It really is something else, I feel. But yeah, this is a fun set already. We saw the pencils coming out for that game. I don't believe they're both going to stay after this game. Just because Pencil is really strong on Crab Leg, but it's not quite as strong on a map like Chip Shape, so I think Rule 4 might put their Pencil away for a more backless comp. But the big thing about this map is just how much of a bottleneck the 2 checkpoints are, because, man, there is no space in between them. You finish the first checkpoint and you're already at the second, it feels like. Oh,
absolutely. You have to have a plan in order to defend second checkpoint. That is just something that you have to prepare for the minute that they're at first checkpoint, I feel. This is just the bottleneck map of all time, but it still provides a great way for players to show their own strengths and take flank routes, and it's just a multitasking map, I feel.
I also want to shout out the Carbon Roller that C-Bay's been rocking with. Carbon is incredibly strong on Ship Shape. This is a very good map to shark with. A lot of fun little cover to peek around, and I mean, granted, the Range Blaster that C-Bay's been running can also do great with said cover, but Carbon Roller Deco, like, I see all the Carbon clips on this map. I don't know about you, but they just all happen on this map around Mako.
I see those as well, and I'm looking forward to see if they run Carbon here today. It looks like we see the Dually Squelchers on the side of C-Bay. I'm curious to see how that's going to work. I really like their comps. It looks like you were right. Rule of 4 is not running Pencil, but they are running Heavy Edit Nouveau with Crab, so I'm curious to see how that's going to play out.
Heavy Edit Nouveau is a fun weapon. Unfortunately, he's going to go down to Serena there on the CRB, but Serena's going to go down themselves there. I'm surprised by this VDS pick. I'm curious to see how it's going to work out for C-Bay here. But already, I mean, just complete and utter neutral. Here comes the Zuka. We all know about Zuka on this map. It's going to find one pick. It's going to find another. Zuka on this map is just... It's cursed. It always does something stupid there. And C-Bay is going to convert that to get the first tower control. Already taking control of this bottom left area as they're nearing that first checkpoint.
C-Bay's already nearing first checkpoint. They're already almost halfway through first checkpoint. 2 down on the side of Rule of 4. We do see a Crab come out, trying to get people off that plat. You see the Dually Squelchers jumped out. I know that there is a Dually Squelchers almost one trick on the side of C-Bay. I'm not sure, but I know that they really like Dually Squelchers, and I'm very happy to see them pushing it. But yeah, they're gonna break check here, and 2 down though, so we'll see if they're able to make a push to the second check.
Yeah, DS is definitely one of the most fun weapons to see in the game, but it's incredibly hard, so I love seeing it getting pushed. And it looks like it's going to work out for C-Bay here so far. Already done with the first checkpoint here in the first minute or so, about halfway through towards that second checkpoint here, but now it seems like Rule of 4's turn to get something started here in this game. Starting to get some pick control, starting to move forward. Picks are being traded out right now. Getting rid of the CRB is really big here for Rule of 4, but it's just going to struggle. Never mind, they're going to go 3 down, or going to get 3 picks on C-Bay. It's just going to be 1 more.
I think this is their chance to get points on the board. They have an amazing, but that 3 down is an amazing chance for them to push forward. They're already almost halfway through the first check, and you can see people on the right already preparing, but there's going to be a sneaky flank here. Let's see, yep, and Serena gets 1 down on the side of Rule of 4, so that was probably huge for them, actually. It slowed them out for a little bit.
Yeah, they're still 3 down. It's just going to be the pencil. You can't defend that on yourself. And yeah, Rule of 4 is going to have the lead back in their hands. Now making a push toward that second checkpoint. This Heavy Edit trying to find this flank over here on the left side. Regardless, though, Rule of 4 continues to push the tower, but the CRB is going to find the pick onto the Heavy Edit. And it looks like the push is going to be stopped there at 34 points. So neither of these 2 teams have made any work on that second checkpoint yet, but the lead is going to be in the hands of Rule of 4 at the end of the second half of this match.
And that's what I was talking about with the previous match. They are just back and forth. These teams seem to be very balanced, and it just seems, it's not frustrating, but wow, they are just completely balanced. It's amazing to see, and you can see that C-Bay is currently trying to break that lead again. They're headed towards the second checkpoint, but do they have the paint for it? 1 down on the side of C-Bay. That's 2 down, that's 3 down. I am not sure if they're going to be able to make a push right now, but like I said before, they were even. Both teams got pretty bad numbers down, but let's see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, there was fireworks in mid for a second, just all the explosions. Kraken's going to come out. You can't get that Zuka on the grates, though. So this Kraken's just kind of sitting here. He's going to be forced to back off a little bit, so now CRB is behind the members of C-Bay. But stranded from the rest of their team, it feels like Rule of 4 trying to push back into mid here. C-Bay trying to push this tower forward as best as they can. Rule of 4 kind of been struggling on getting a good amount of control in mid, and C-Bay just keeps finding their way into their area. They're going to get the pick onto the shot, though. But regardless, C-Bay just wants to keep holding forward as much as possible, but Rule of 4 does still have the lead at the moment.
We can see that C-Bay is taking advantage of this numbers lead here. They just need the paint in mid to push forward with it. We can see another flank going around by the custom range blaster. And will they get anything? They do get a pick, and they're clearing out they get a wipeout. They get a wipeout. This is just, they're going to be able to get to second checkpoint, I think, but they have to set up properly for this. They are already in their base. I think that this is a set second checkpoint so far, unless Rule of 4 is able to get something happening.
Yeah, a wipeout in that spot is devastating. They just converted off to a free second checkpoint there, already on the verge of a knockout. Rule of 4 finally going to fight back, but what did it cost, man? 15 points where the lead's going to stand. My goodness, the CRB wants the gold, is not going to be getting it though. Wright's going to find that pick. It's going to go down, but going to get traded out. So a delayed wipe on C-Bay is going to stop their push there. 15 points to go, but Rule of 4 now has quite the tall task ahead of them. They have to make it all the way down to 14 points if they want to get this lead back in their hands, and it's going to have to happen in overtime as well.
I believe that they can do it as long as they stay cool-headed, but it looks like 2 down on the side of Rule of 4. If they're able to come back quickly, then they should still have a fighting chance at getting this. There's somebody still on the tower. They're going to go into overtime. I don't think they're giving this up without a fight.
Ooh, Pencil's going to find an early pick onto Rice, though. It's 2v2, 2 down perennially, but the Pencil's going to be able to run onto the tower for free there, and Seabay is going to be getting a second game there in a row.
Oh my gosh, that snowball was insane. They put up a huge fight, though, but that just shows that you need a really good defensive when you get to that second checkpoint.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, stuff can just kind of fall all over the place. Like, it's just so easy for stuff to get out of hand just off of a few mistakes or a few little flubs or just a few little accidents. We saw that happening exactly to Rule of 4.
So next game is Rainmaker Hagglefish. What do you expect to see here?
I expect to see the gamer jump. Where you pull a little magic trick, you tap your wand to the hat and you make 30 points disappear.
Yes.
that is this map lives and dies by the gamer jumps. So who's gonna be a real gamer? That's the real question here.
It's just the most satisfying thing when you get that gamer jump and you see the points jump from, what is it, like 60 to 30?
Yeah. It's just I want to see a magic trick personally. I got all hyped up for it last night. Didn't get to see it. I'm looking forward to it tonight. I want to see a magic trick. I want to see it.
I'm very excited to see those 30 points disappear in the span of one jump.
Poof.
It is the hallway map of all time, but we all love it for that.
Yeah, I mean, some of us like it more in tower control than the other modes, but I mean, then I'm just putting.
Well, we never really see it played in Rainmaker, do we?
Yeah, we don't. Wonder why. I feel like this is also a very strong map for Inkvac. Pretty much every time I see this map pulled out, I see someone pull out the Inkvac just for it. Just because, like, there really is only one avenue to push, and Inkvac is very good in those kinds of scenarios because you can just accompany your best friend Rainmaker buddy and push them forward. Seabay could do a similar thing with the Kraken of the CRB that they've been running, which would be kind of funny, but I'm curious to see if anything like that comes out.
I'm curious to see if the Carbon Roller is going to come back out with this very linear map, but also they provide amazing flank routes. I know that there's a left route for the Rainmaker that not many people use, but it's really easy to get on their plat with that. So who knows? We'll probably see some flanks. We'll probably see some gamer jumps. I'm excited to see where this match will take us.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can happen on this game, but like you said, it is kind of just a hallway. There is really one way to push. I mean, you do have the little left route if pushing forward doesn't work out, but you generally just want to get the gamer jump. So regardless, let's see who's the real gamer, who's going to get the first pop, who's going to get the first wipe, and who's going to get to 30 points. All that and more.
We see the switch to the custom dually squelchers. I'm curious to see how that's going to go. They got Chumps, they have Cooler, they have Zuka, they have Kraken, they have the chip damage. I am really happy. I am really excited to see Chumps being played. Looks like Rule of 4 is going to get the pop here. Tense going up on left. Dually squelchers trying to get a pick. They go for a trade instead, and I don't know, Seabay's really capitalizing on their space, and they already grabbed the Rainmaker.
Yeah, they're just going to run it left immediately and just get a quick checkpoint there. Just, you know, Rule of 4 is not looking there. If the enemy's not looking, you can just run it over there. And Seabay doing exactly that, going to get the early checkpoint. Already putting on pressure, 2 down. My goodness, just the players on the side of Rule of 4 are kind of melting at this point. Seabay putting on so much pressure. The range pressure of the CRB has been really difficult for them to stop. But Gabe is going to find the pick onto the Rainmaker through the fire and the flame. Delay Seabay just a little bit longer, but even still, they're starting to set up a down payment on the enemy side.
It looks like Serena did just what you said they would do, and they Krakened in as for the Rainmaker. And yep, we may see that play again, but it looks like the Rainmaker's on the side of Rule of 4. Rice carrying, looks like they're trying to get some paint on the ground, possibly trying to prepare a left push here on the side of Rule of 4.
Yeah, I think both these two teams want to live and die by this left check, and it seems like that is going to be their plan. Rice pushing forward, but they're going to get caught up by the V-shot. Going to delay things for Rule of 4 just a little bit longer, and that just gives enough time for Seabay to regroup and to pop up the chumps as well. It's going to be really good for them in this fight. If Rule of 4 doesn't break check fast enough, they're going to be doing just that, though. Gabe's going to be winning the range toss for 1v1. 3 down on the side of Seabay as well. Just the shot, delayed wipe, and Rule of 4 just has to hold forward, and they get the lead.
And they have a straight shot to the podium with the Kraken, but they are able to get shot down by Azuka, I believe. So I think what Rule of 4 has to do is they have to keep space. They have to. Oh, they got two. Oh my god.
Check. They gamed this. Game might have some aim assist. My goodness, okay, just an early knockout.
Thank you, Hagglefish. Thank you, Hagglefish, the map of all time. That was.
I mean, look, I love CRB. I love to see it pop off. My goodness, game of Rule of 4. Just direct after direct after direct after direct. Just, I mean, sometimes when you aim, they just explode in your face.
I love their comp. I love seeing that this comp is working for them. It makes me want to run a tent on my team.
Ooh, wait. Foreshadowing? Hello?
Perhaps. Who knows?
Glasses?
Who knows? Things are in the works, but we'll see. But yeah, that was a quick game 4, but it looks like it's even 2-2, both Seabay and Rule of 4. It could be anybody's game right now. It looks like we're guaranteed to go to a game 7, 8?
I think game 7, but yeah, perfectly balanced as all things in the set freaking have to be, it feels like. 2-2 at this point. Man, this could just go the full 9 yards, the full 9 games. That'd be fun. But, man, I would imagine these teams are feeling a little bit stressed out at this point in time, just because, like, no matter what you do, the other team's going to match you to it bar for bar, and you just got to play that long game and hope you make it to the end.
I know, you don't frequently see teams that are this balanced, but it's really interesting to see that one person can get the lead and then boom, the other team is in the lead right after. You really have to be on your toes for these teams, for these sets, just to see what's going to happen. So with Barnacle and Dime, it looks like, I don't know what they're gonna run, frankly.
Yeah, we still have Barnacle with an eye, because, you know, old habits die young. New and improved Barnacle with the drop there on the left side as well. I'm excited to see how that's going to play out. Still haven't seen it too much, but I'm excited to see how these two teams sort of adapt to the newness of the map.
Yeah, I don't normally see that side being utilized, but normally when you do, I only really see it used on tower control. So I'm curious to see if they're going to capitalize on that in zones here. I think at the start, we're going to have to look to the left and right trenches and just make sure that there's probably going to be some fights there immediately, so be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, probably. I mean, just the two trenches on the side of the map, very, very good early spots. Very good positions for the Tenderbrella as well, but burst paint on this map kind of reigns supreme, so I'm curious to see. I feel like the zone is going to be flip-flopping a lot, but I feel like when you're in advantage, it's all about that lockout you get once you get onto the enemy plat. So let's see how this is going to shake out. Same comps on the side of Rule of 4. CBA going to be shaking up here, going for the bucket instead of the CRB, keeping with the pencil, which I think is a good call. Pencil is amazing on this map.
I agree. I think that the Slosher is probably to provide a little bit more paint than the CDS will, but it looks like the zone is going to flip in Rule of 4's favor as they take space in mid, as they take space on their plat. And it looks like CBA is not letting that happen without a fight. They have 2 down on the other side. It is... Oh my goodness, it is a nightmare.
Yeah, Ted was able to get the pick on the bucket, push them into the water, but they ran into 3 members of Seabay, and that is not going to be enough. And this Carbonol is going to find the pick onto the ledge as well. Seabay off to an incredibly strong start in this game, just having a lot of advantage. And this could just convert into knockout here and there, just here and now, just looking at this map.
Oh, absolutely, but that's also dependent on if they have their defensive setup. And it looks like Rule of 4 is trying to get in there, trying to find a pick. They are able to cap the zone, but they aren't aware of the people on the sides. I think they need a bit more paint control before they can comfortably call this a safe push.
Yeah, but Rule of 4 is going to get 3 down, get exactly that, and it's going to be forcing CBA to start from scratch here, and Rule of 4 already within striking distance of this lead. Just have to hold on to the zone for a little bit longer. Serena going to be popping the Zuka, trying to find whatever picks they can. Not going to amount to anything though. Rule of 4 is so close to the lead, and they're going to be able to do just that, get it back into favor. But now, all about extending it as much as possible, getting the picks they can find, trading with the Carbon in the zone. It's pretty solid, but here come the tri-strikes, and that's going to be enough to get CBA back the cap. But they get full wipe, so back to Rule of 4 the control goes.
That's a wipeout. I did see that there was a cooler in the zone, so they could be back quickly. We just have to be on the lookout. But if I were Rule of 4, I would try and take advantage of this lead. It looks like they're doing just that. We see this Tent playing frontline. giving their team space. They got the cooler out. They are prepared for whatever C-Bay is able to throw at them.
Oh yeah, I mean, Rule of 4, trying to set up defensively, going to be through that penalty for the second time it seems, just about. And now Gabe is trying to push forward, going to find 2 picks there, 2 down on the side of C-Bay. Rule of 4 trying to extend as much as possible, but Kronos going to go down to Serena there. Carbon Roll is going to be jumping in as well. Rule of 4 very close to this knock, and just a few picks away. Gabe's going to find one of them, but they're going to get taken down by the bucket on the enemy team, and that's going to be enough to get C-Bay back to cap.
Oh my goodness. Yep, and they are already capitalizing on this cap. It looks like they still have to fight for zone, but the cap puts some very much needed points on the board and some time in Rule of 4's deficit, which is amazing for the C-Bay. And it looks like Rule of 4 is holding 2 specials. They're waiting for the right time to make a push, and they are just trying to make sure everyone's on the same page before they're able to do that. It looks like the tent is down. We just have cooler ready. And that's 2 down on the side of Rule of 4, and 2 down on the side of C-Bay as well. It's pretty even on the board right now.
Yeah, dicey position. Crab was just used up, Cooler was just popped, and we're going to be starting from about halfway. Zuki's going to be coming out, halfway to another Crab, halfway to Zipcaster, but regardless, Rule of 4 just wants to take these fights with their main weapons, trying to get the paint onto the zone, and looks like they're going to be doing just that. Props to Identity on the heavy edit for spearheading that for their team, and Rule of 4 able to save their lead for just a little bit longer. Minute 40 left in the game, and this game is moving at a breakneck pace. These teams are still in it to win at this point. The Rule of 4 does have the cap right now and just have to lock out C-Bay one more time, it feels like, to get that knockout.
Absolutely. It's already, there's only a minute 30 left on the clock, and it feels like this game has only been 10 seconds. I don't know about you, but this game, like you said, it's at a breakneck pace, and both teams, it's anybody's game right now, but it looks like Rule of 4 is ending their point deficit, and they only need 10 ticks to end the game here.
Yeah, double from Gabe, triple from Gabe on the Stamper. The last one's going to jump out to save themselves. And Rule of 4 another knockout is going to be taking Game 3. Just C-Bay gets 2 games, Rule of 4 gets 2 games. It's just never ending with these teams, I swear.
Well, once again, that's why we have 9 games to go through. I'm sure that Rule of 4 feels very good about that. They just broke that stalemate of 2 and 2. I think what was said earlier, maybe yesterday or earlier in the day, whoever gets to Game 3 kind of just has to like take a sigh of relief a little bit. You know, whoever gets there first, it's in their sight, but you know they still have to be a little bit hesitant and play it safely.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a difference between, you know, getting to 3-2, like being 3-2 in score, versus being up 3-1 in score. Mm-hmm. So I'm curious, like, when it's 3-2, like it is now, it's a pretty good indicator. These teams, like we've said a lot, are incredibly evenly matched, very close in terms of skill, know what the other team wants to do to a certain extent. So it's just about those little, like, tiny micro adjustments between these two teams that's really going to separate the winner and the loser here. So I'm curious. It's going to be a close set. I would love to see it go all the way.
Oh, I would too. I know our teams probably wouldn't like that, but I would love to see that personally. Yeah. So it's pretty much anyone's game. I'm pretty sure the next map is Clams. I am not too sure which map. It's Clams Umami. So I am excited to see what's going to happen here. There's not a lot of flank routes for this one, but if they get into the enemy's like base, it's almost completely over unless they're able to set up a really fantastic defense.
Yeah, Clams on this map is a little bit awkward. It's another case of kind of Hagglefish where it is a bit of a hallway, although granted on Hagglefish we saw some flank routes. Those don't really exist on this map. You do just kind of have to go for the straight shot. It is much closer than on Crab Leg, so scores are much more common on this map compared to Crab Leg, so I would imagine we're going to be seeing quite a few lead changes. But the big thing, the big scary thing, is getting locked into your spawn on this map. If you push up just a little bit beyond the basket, it is incredibly difficult to find good defensive high ground here. So the points can just kind of cascade and just fall out of control. So defense is incredibly important on this map. You do not want to get wiped out by pretty much all costs.
Absolutely. I expect to see a lot of long distance specials. I expect to see Crab, Zuka, even Strikes. I think that Strikes on this map could be incredibly, incredibly strong, especially when you're in that push. You could throw Strikes at any of the high ground in their zone, and you're almost guaranteed to get a pick based on where the people can go.
Yeah. Zuka is incredibly strong on this map. We've been seeing it a fair bit. Crab is very strong on this map as well. So I'm curious to see how. I mean, special play on pretty much all maps is very important, but especially one that can, you know, be as volatile as Clamblets and on a map that's as high scoring as Umami. It's very scary. This is a map mode that always feels like it's on the razor's edge.
I am very excited to see how this is going to play out, considering these teams are so balanced. And yeah, looks like we're going to get into it soon. Clams Umami.
Yeah, game 6 of the set. Rule of 4 up 3-2, but still doable for both teams by all means. Range Blasts are going to be coming back out as of the pencil. Same old, same old. Rule of 4 knows what they want to run, and it's up to CBay to adapt to it.
It's obviously working for them, and we see the Carbon coming out, trying to get under those ledges, trying to get right under that circle. It looks like we're going to see the tent from Rule of 4 take mid here, trying to get something happening. It's just a stalemate, trying to see who can get the most paint on the floor right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's, wow, 3 go down on the side of Rule of 4 pretty fast, but CBay is going to go 2 down to sort of match that. CBay has a lot of paint on the floor right now, but not a lot of players up to patrol it, and Rule of 4 pushing right back, but the pencil's going to find 2 on top mid, and that's going to really establish CBay as the one setting the pace of this game to start things off.
Absolutely. It looks like Rule of 4 is holding a special. They're holding Zipcaster. They're trying to wait to see if they can have an opportunity to get a pick. It looks like 1 goes down on the side of CBay. 2 go down on the side of... Oh, 2 go down on the side of CBay, actually. But they were able to get some clams into the basket. I'm not too sure if they're able to follow up with anything, but it is still points on the board.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a map where, like, only pushing to 80 does feel kind of bad, because it always feels like there could have been more. But at least, you know, setting the tone is very nice here for CBay, and they're still pretty strong on this defense as Rule of 4 is pushing up. Going to find 2 picks as well. CBay has kind of just been in control of this game from the word go, it feels like, and forcing Rice to jump out as well is going to kind of establish that they really are strong in mid. Rice just back in. Carbon's going to go down at their feet, and Rice trying to run into the enemy basket, and they're going to be able to just make it.
That was an insane play by Rice, but he did get points on the board for them as well. Looks like we see a few of their teammates trying to get some picks in, trying to get in there, but CBay has a huge defensive. I am very surprised that both of the teams are just at 20 points down.
Yeah, we've only been seeing that opening basket breaking power clam and nothing beyond. I mean, it's kind of surprising on a map like this where pushes can really get extended with the right amount of control, but neither team's been able to find it. But right now, effectively a delayed wipe there on Rule of 4 is going to be putting CBay back into control of mid. Pencil going to have the cooler at the ready, going to be telling their teammates to go forth to do crimes, and CBay could definitely convert this into extending their lead.
Absolutely. While they're coolered up, this would be a great opportunity for them to push forward, but they can't really do much with that crab looking at them. 2 down on their side of Rule of 4. This could be CBay's opportunity to really take advantage of those numbers.
Yeah, exactly that. Halfway through the regular time of this game right now, CBay trying to push forward, 2 go down, just immediately exploding in the face of the Carbon roller. CBay going to get another basket breaker, but Gabe goes from behind with a stamper. He's going to find 1 to stalling just a little bit. Epic is going to be running forward, getting more clams into the basket. There are 49s where the lead's going to stand. Still 2 clams left at the disposal. But now CBay kind of out of clams, jumping the power clam though, trying to get the lead down even more, but they missed the throw.
Ooh. Let's see if they're able to get another push going for Rule of 4. Oh my goodness. Well, looks like there's 2 specials on the side of Rule of 4. They're going to get cooler out, going to try to make something happen. We see a lot of clams on their side. They have 20 clams, and CBay only has about 0 clams in their disposal. I think they are preparing for a push. I just think they aren't too sure how to get in there.
Yeah, well, Rice is just going to hold forward and hope it works out. And so far, it's looking like it just might. 2 power clams enter the basket, but the Cardinal is going to get the jump camp on the stamper, which is the main clam carrier there for Rule of 4. So, looks like that push is going to die there at 51 points, just 8 short of the lead, 9 short in a sense. So, a power clam and 3 more clams from Rule of 4 is going to be enough to swing the lead back into their favor. Certainly attainable by all accounts, but can they put the pieces together in the next minute 35?
I'm sure it's anybody's game by now. They are always neck and neck. What can I say? Currently, CBay has top mid, which is a very powerful position for whoever the game goes to. So it looks like 1 down is on the side of CBay. There is a cooler out. They are trying to make another push happen in their favor. They're trying to get the lead here. I can just tell that they're preparing to score here with the Zuka coming out.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of do or die as far as this game goes here for Rule of 4. They go 2 down immediately, though, as soon as I say it. Seabay, so strong in the defense, so strong in these fights. It just feels like they're just comfortable on this map, and that comfort is working in their favor. They get to pick on Rice as well. 2 of them go down, though. Kronos trying to have the defense with his Tenderbella. That's going to be the full wipeout there on Seabay. Rule of 4 quick to respond right now. Kronos is building up toward a power claim, has 7, just needs 1 more. They're going to find it, break the basket. Another power claim is going to do it and get the lead in favor of Rule of 4 there.
That was an amazing play. I did not even know that they had 2 power clams, but looks like they get the wipeout here, unfortunately, but that is a huge lead with only 10 seconds left. Seabay is going to have to go into overtime in order to get something to happen. And we see specials coming out, just trying to get some picks, trying to get in. They have 12 clams at the ready. Will it be enough?
It's absolutely tenable with the amount of claims that they have right now. It's just making it to the basket in the next 10 seconds. This is so incredibly rough for Seabay at this point. You do not want to go down 4-2 at this moment, but Rule 4 might not give them a choice in the matter. But the Kraken here from Serena is going to be trying to spirit something, but the tent shield gets the 3 shot on the V shot, and now power claim, but the wipe is going to happen, and the power claim is going to be re-grabbed to get the lead back in favor of Seabay, taking the overtime and tying the set again, 3-3 this time.
You can't see me, but my mouth was agape at that play. That was a brilliant play on the side of Seabay. They have to have probably amazing mental in order to pull that off, to not freak out, to just be like, hey, we can do this. We just need to get some clams. And they were able to do it. They had me scared there for a second with 2 going down, but they were able to make something happen, and it was really amazing to watch.
Yeah, I was just terrified. Like, look at how close they were to not even making it to the basket there. But this Kraken from Serena really put in all the work that they needed. Epic was able to swim forth and fire that pick. Quill gets taken down by the tent shield, but the heavy edit is the last alive, and they go down, I believe, to the carbon roller there just off screen, and Serena gonna swim back, get the power claim into the basket, tie up the set 3-3, and we're halfway there. We're game 8 guaranteed. It seems as though we're game 9 bound.
Oh my goodness. I am ecstatic that there is going to be a game 9. I think we are in for a very entertaining Ludi tonight. I will say that these teams are just proving to be incredibly balanced, and I really admire these just kind of coordination. It seems like they have a really strong team dynamic. They're able to trust each other that, hey, I can keep under basket clear. We can totally make a push happen. Don't worry about it. And it's amazing to watch, and it won them that game. So, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just the presence of mind and the mental for both these teams is... We've seen both these teams make great comebacks throughout this whole set. Seabay is just so strong. Clamless is definitely a mode that they succeed in, especially. And I think, by contrast, Rule of 4 is very strong on zones. And those other modes are just a little bit, complicated in terms of the matchups there. So... I don't know, but feel kind of bad for Rule of 4. They just came off a Game 9 set last week, and it seems as though they're on track for another, but I'm sure if they had it their way, they would win these next 2 games. Tie it up 5-3. Gonna have to start here. Game 7, another classic TC Inkblots.
I am curious as to what we're gonna see. We're probably gonna see the pencils return, just because they have that, just that length that can just take over the whole map. Pencil is very strong on this map. I expect to see that, and I'm genuinely curious as to which team this is going to go to. Both teams are incredibly balanced. I don't think either one has a comp that would, take out the other one. That's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of the cards both these teams are going to be running are on the table. Somewhat stagnant on comps. We've seen a bit of experimentation from Seabay on what they want for their last player to run. I think even switching some players in and out according to, the map mode. But regardless, Rule of 4 especially has been pretty stagnant in what they want to run, and I mean, that's not a slight to them by any means. They're a very strong team, as they've proven throughout the set here, but I feel like at this point, everyone, these 2 teams know what they want to run, what the opponent wants to run, and they know their game plans, so it's just about who can execute a little bit better. That is really going to show itself here on this map, on that second checkpoint. That is the massive bottleneck of this tower control map mode, but regardless, Game 7, ties at 3-3. Let's see who's going to get this win.
All right, we're looking for team comps. We're looking for changes. Looks like they're holding strong on Seabay's side. They're going with the tent, Blaster, Pettit, and Oh my goodness, that was rule of 4. My bad.
No worries, everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, rule 4, they know what they want to run. They know it's been working for them, and by golly, it's been working for them pretty well. But Sibe also knows what they want to run. They want to have that carbon roller deco just sharking here on this left side. Rule of 4 not going to be biting, and as soon as I say that, Commentators curse, Rice goes down to the carbon roller. Quill going to be popping the Zuka as well. Cronus pops the Zuka in response. Scratchels coming out all over. Cronus is going to find the pick. 2 down just on the other side. Picks are just happening everywhere.
It's hard to tell what's happening. This game is moving at a breakneck pace, as you can see. Not a lot of points on the board, but it does look like the map is in favor of Sibe right here. We see the pencil on the tower, like we predicted, and it looks like Rule of 4 is going to have to try and get their defensive up for this, trying to get that blaster out of their bats. That would be my first step.
Yeah, you do not want a range blaster up there, but Sibe does not really care what they want. Sibe has their own desires, and that includes winning this game, and they're going to be off to a great start, getting 2 down as they make their way toward that second checkpoint. Epic is the tower rider. Rice is trying to find that pick, trying to force them off, and Rice is going to fall off themselves into the water, and that's going to convert to Sibe almost getting the checkpoint, but they go 2 down to Identity's Crab, but they're going to get the second checkpoint regardless with the jump-ins there. Sibe in a great spot now in this game. They want to keep going, but they're going to be stopped just short of it, but getting 2 checkpoints down in the first push is phenomenal for Sibe.
They are absolutely in a great position for the rest of the game. They just have to defend this lead and maybe try and capitalize off of any picks that they're able to get. Looks like Serena is just causing a lot of havoc on their plat. Soon to be taken down by the CRB, trying to get some picks, trying to take care of that carbon roller. Looks like they're juiced up. They are able to make something happen here. They have specials. They are able to push. Let's see if they can follow up on that.
Yeah, 2 minutes down, trades just happening everywhere. Picks are happening absolutely everywhere on this map, it feels like. Identity pops an early crab. I don't much like that. They're going to be able to roll over the carbon deco there as soon as I say that. But not having a crab for this push is not amazing for Rule of 4 at this point. They are going to get onto the tower right now, but now that this pencil's starting to set up and they don't have that long-range special to displace them off the enemy pot, so Rule of 4... even as the set has been so far, they've really struggled to, establish themselves in this game and really get their foot on the gas.
Let's see. They still have some time to get their foot on that gas, but it looks like somebody's already pushing. Sibe is just a force to be reckoned with. Let's put it that way. They got yeah. Amazing pick from that Zuka. Let's put it that way. They're getting picks at a breakneck pace. They are just Yep. Yeah, Zuka is ever present. 3-2 go down inside of Sibe. It's just going to be that CRB. Going to be popping Kraken for longevity, because why not? Going to be camping this jump. Might even get a few teammates in if they really dare, but now Serena's just going to back off of the plat. Sibe is content with where they're at, and to be honest, I would be too if you're at 20 points. The enemy team has only scored 8, so yeah, this is a little bit scary for Rule of 4 at this moment. There's 2 down on the side of Rule of 4. It looks like Sibe is back onto their full roster, 1 down. And Quill's trying to get a pick with Zuka. Couldn't find anything. The Blaster's trying to finish off what they started. Tent goes down. It looks like 2 down on the side of Rule of 4. Let's see if anybody can make something happen here. Carbon manages to find a pick, and they're able to find 2, actually. It's just phenomenal gameplay, phenomenal ledge camping, and Sibe seems to be dominant in this game so far.
Yeah, this carbon deco has just been a problem for the entirety of the set. And this game, it feels like they've been able to flex more than ever. And Rule of 4 has really been struggling. They're 2 down, they're 3 down, 50 seconds to go. Sibe already setting up that down payment in the enemy bats here. It feels like their own bats at this point with how much they've been here. And Rule of 4, if I'm them, I'm thinking about the next game, because this game has just not been going in their favor at all. But Identity is going to be able to find 2 with the crab. Going to be able to have the Kraken expire. 30 seconds left. This game is not over quite yet, but Rule of 4 really is going to have to lock in to get this win.
Absolutely. We see Quill here sharking, trying to get a pick, trying to also probably farm for Cooler if they are able to stay alive, which it looks like they are. Cooler, I mean Zuka. Quill goes down. It looks like Rice is just pushing the tower as far as they can, trying to make something happen, trying to get their team to push in. They're going to have a long way to go in overtime in order for them to get the lead, and 3 down, I think this win goes to Sibe.
Yeah, even though the carbon is taken down, it's just too little too late there. Heavy Edit cannot make it back onto the tower. And Seabay is going to be the first team to reach match point in the set. And I say first team because I feel like we can feel the game 9 coming. But now, that's up to Rule of 4 to live up to that promise. So, Seabay's just won 2 games in a row. How is Rule of 4 going to respond?
I'm not sure. I think they need to really focus on their mental. They need to really focus on how to deal with the weapons that they're struggling against. It looks like they're struggling against the carbon, the pencil. Maybe they just need a little bit more range under their belt. I'm not too sure. But I am excited to see what's going to happen and how this next game is going to play out. Will they let their mental determine match point, or will they take it to a game 9? I know they probably do not want to take it to another game 9, but we gotta do what we gotta do.
I mean, at this point for Rule of 4, this is their only avenue. They're familiar with the avenue of game 9, and at this point you just have to hope that it leads you to success. Game 8 on Rainmaker Scorch Gorge. I know personally this is the map that always shows up when my mental's at its lowest, so I'm not too thrilled to see it, but regardless, another map that lives and dies by its checkpoint. Once those checkpoints go down, you're back to Black Belt, it feels like. So let's see what happens. Points can melt in this map.
It looks like Rule of 4 gets the pop here, has a lot more paint in mid. Looks like they're pretty clumped up together on the right side, though. I'm not too sure how that's going to work out. 3 down on the side of Rule of 4. This is Seabay's chance to make something happen. They need to get pop, though, and it looks like they have just a straight shot to the check.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it. Rule of 4 could still stop them in the time that it takes to get there, but Zuka and Rainmaker and, oh my god, just picks are happening, but a pick onto the Rainmaker is going to come out from Rice. Great defense there, but 3 down on Rule of 4 at this point in the map is not fun to deal with. This feels like it might just be a checkpoint here for Seabay, unless Rule of 4 can stop it, and that is going to be exactly that. But now, Rule of 4 really has to fight back, because if they can't fight back at this point, things get hairy for them, but it looks like they're going to be able to do just that, force the members of Seabay back in the mid.
Absolutely. Seabay is backing up. This is a great chance for Rule of 4 to get some paint on the ground, get everybody back into check. And it looks like Rice is trying to make things happen, trying to get some picks, and it looks like a Carbon is flanking and gets the pick on Rice. Oh, and then just 3 down on Rule of 4.
Just so many players going down at all points. It's so hard for either team to get momentum started. Seabay's been able to sort of, make do in the sort of chaos that has been this set, but Rule of 4 has been struggling to get their footing down, and 3 down. Stamper, though, with the clutch is going to be able to find that last pick, but getting wiped out. Not fun at this point. The red carpet is laid out effectively here for Seabay. They just have to grab the Rainmaker and go. Rainmaker is grabbed, and the Rainmaker is going. 50 points. It's where it's going to stop for now, but Seabay wants to continue this as much as possible.
Absolutely. 2 down on the side of Rule of 4. Seabay is still trying to get pop. They're trying to get what they can. They're trying to get to the podium. They want that red carpet all the way back out again. And so that's exactly what they're going to do. But they're going to have to back up here because it looks like their push is finally over, and they're going to have to retreat and try and make another game plan and move to the defensive.
Yeah, I mean, it did not quite work out there for Seabay as well as they would like. 44, honestly, I feel like they could have gotten a lot more. But at least they still have players up. They still have the pencil putting on pressure, and they're able to delay Rule of 4 being able to push back into mid. So halfway into the game, Rule of 4 still hasn't gotten that first checkpoint yet. Really hasn't gotten much work on the score department. And that crab is expired from Rule of 4. So let's see what Rule of 4 can do in the face of this Zuka.
Looks like 1 down on the side of Rule of 4, 2 down again on both sides. It looks like Seabay is going to respawn quicker. Trying to get a flank. It looks like, yep, that Carbon won that matchup.
Yeah. It feels like, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. And all of a sudden there's 3 members of Seabay, and yeah, Rule of 4 already back on the back foot here. 2 minutes to go. This is starting to feel like a little bit of a pattern here for Rule of 4, and not a pattern they want to see by any means. Just Seabay has had complete control, it feels like, since the end of that Clamless Umami game, and they've been converting it beautifully from one game to the next to the next. Rule of 4 has been kind of struggling lately.
I think I would also struggle against the speed at which Seabay plays. They play at such a quick pace, and they already have their entryway wide open, trying to get points on the board, trying to get the check. Rice is not going to let that happen without a fight.
Yeah, Rice is going to be able to find the pick, but the Carbon's going to try and find some more pace. Gets two so fast. Carbon Deco is just such a scary weapon, even though they're going to get traded out with Protos. There comes Serena to find some more picks and get even more points on the board there for Seabay. 11 to go. Seabay just wants to wrap it up 5-3. No game 9 needed. Just wants to get this as fast as possible. Rule of 4 desperately holding on to anything, any foothold they can find, but a minute to go. This is going to have to take a miracle.
Yep, absolutely. It's really critical that that 10th player was able to catch that jump from the Carbon. I think that's the key for Seabay's downfall, is you have to catch those jumps. Otherwise, they're just going to keep going really quickly. And it looks like Rice is trying to get to check. They're trying to break through Seabay's defenses. With 2 down, they're able to get check here.
Ooh, this might just be how it starts here. Rice is going to be going for the pop, probably going to be going for the grab as well. As a support player, trying to just weave around the pencil shots. 20 seconds to go. It's an overtime. Pencil is down immediately. They have to locate the Carbon. They are able to locate the Carbon flat. Range Blaster pops the Kraken though, tries to find the pick onto Rice. Rice is half. They cannot stay alive much longer. Range is going to find the pick with the Kraken. Can Rule of 4 get the repop fast enough in time? Seabay is going to have to give it the pop, but can they find the picks? Chronos grabs the Ranger, runs it through the 10, and he's going to get the lead at 8 points just as over.
Oh my god. Huge lead for Rule of 4. God bless 10. That was
Rice is there. Rice is still charging. Oh my goodness, the Ranger just grabbed 3 down though. It's gonna have to be a reset here. Rule of 4 has to have their defense on point, but my goodness, that's a massive momentum swing.
They are racing against the clock, whether it be the Rainmaker timer and overtime, and they really need to make something happen here. They basically have to get a knockout in order to win this match, in order to not take it to game 9.
This is scary. 35 seconds left. The Rainmaker timer. Cool is going to be popped. No Zipcaster. 2 down on the side of Rule of 4 by the Crab Tank. Trying to find the pick on this Maker. Crab Tank's going to expire though. Kronos gets taken down while they're holding on to Zuka. Oh no, 3 down. It's just Rice trying to find the Rainmaker as best they can. They get the wipeout. Was it in time?
Oh my god.
I didn't see the lead. I think we might just be going to a game 9 now. What's going to happen? It's a game 9.
We're going to game 9, brother.
Every time I bring a new commentator onto Ludi's Night, I bring one of my best friends. It's not that big a deal. Game 9.
Listen, I'm really excited to see a game 9 my first time. Listen, it's I feel like it's a challenge and I'm ready for this challenge, and I am incredibly excited to see what's going to happen. These teams have been neck and neck this entire time, and I am just thrilled to be able to see who's able to take it home. I really can't guess who it's going to be. Both of these teams are incredibly skilled, so wow.
At everyone, Ludi tonight, we're going to a game 9. My goodness, that clutch from Rice or whoever, trading with the Rainmaker right there, right as they got taken down and the wipeout text appeared on the screen. How do you have that presence of mind, Rice? What are you eating? I guess rice, but like, what's in your cereal to get you that reaction time?
Share your secrets with us, please. Share your rice recipe, please. So true. In honor of Rice, we are eating Rice Krispies. But the pure mental strength that game took, I am just astounded. I'm sure that most teams would probably have just rolled over saying, oh, yeah, they're at 11. This is probably it. But no, they were able to formulate a push. They were able to play patiently, which is really crucial for that. They were able to kind of get down, Mr. President, please. And just take it home. It was incredible.
Said, get down me. Just deploying that 10 shield. And then, man, that was crazy. That was craziness. As soon as like 5 seconds were to go, Carlos popped the shield, was able to swim forward with it. Rice was able to get the pick. We're going to game 9. Familiar territory for Rule of 4. They lost it last week. Now is their chance to get the redemption here. Z-Bay, their match only went to game 6. This is new territory for them at this point, but you have to lock in. You can't have come this far to only get this far. Game 9, Zones Mahi, probably the most volatile map of the series. Let's just go.
I will say this is one of my favorite map modes just because I am a Splatling main. It is one of my babies. However, it's a very lockout heavy map. It's almost crazy how able it's to be locked out. You know, like you just have to drop and pray at that point.
Yeah, this map is not fun. When I honestly prefer when the water's up, because when the water drops, it's all one-way drops to get into zone. And C-Bay has a carbon roller and a range blaster, and I'll let you put the puzzle pieces together. They are licking their lips, trying to find whatever picks they can. And it's pretty easy at that point, because they're just forced to fall right into their line of fire. But here we go. Game 9 Ludi tonight. This stuff never disappoints. Rule of 4, and we have, oh my god, C-Bay. Let's just get into it.
Two insanely powerhouse teams, and I am excited to see what they're going to pull out. It looks like not a lot of comp changes on either side. They know what's working for them, and currently it's just a race to see who's able to get into mid right now. We need a lot of paint on the board, and historically C-Bay has been able to have a lot of paint. I've noticed that Rule of 4 probably struggles a little bit with paint at the start, but they're able to cap the zone at the beginning. One down on the side of Rule of 4, and that was the first pick of the game. Let's see if they can keep the zone.
Yeah, right now there's a carbon roller in the zone, which is not fun to play around. This carbon roller is going to immediately get 2 picks, but Rule of 4 still has control of the zone. Gabe's going to be running out on the side, going to finally get the pick on the carbon. And right now, Rule of 4 just trying to set it for the water drop, about 5 points away from that happening. This is a good start for them right now, forcing C-Bay to take these one-way drops so early on, but it's just about holding on as best as possible. It's just going to be Identity though on the heavy end. They have to back out at this point. You cannot go full down, but they at least have a crab tank on the ready.
Yep, Identity just has to stay alive, keep that crab tank, give jumps in for their team, just hold down the fort, because C-Bay is coming and they are hungry.
Oh, they are so hungry. They've not eaten dinner in weeks. Gabe's going to be pulling out the Zipcaster, trying to find something, trying to find some sort of thing, just trying to be as much of a menace as possible. They're going to succeed in that endeavor and going to get the zone back in the hands of Rule of 4 for just a moment. C-Bay about 20 points shy from that lead there in that attempt, but they still have more tries to go as long as they can make their way back into mid. But that truly is the great question of the team.
Absolutely. We already see that the tent is trying to pressure Epoch off of that little pedestal. That is the beauty of Mahi Mahi, Pinky. That is the beauty of it. You just cannot camp any ledge or else you are going to be picked off. And it looks like Rule of 4 out of their penalty. They have 40 ticks left on the board. Let's see if C-Bay is able to get back in here. It's not looking good for them paint-wise, but who knows? There could be a miracle that happens.
Yeah, this is really scary for C-Bay, especially when Rule of 4 is one of the other 2 zones games in this set. 15 points away from this knockout. Now this might just happen. This is one last shot for C-Bay. One last chance. They're going to have it halfway, going to have it contested, but they're not able to get the rest of the paint. 3 down. It's just the shot, and Rule of 4 is going to make it happen in 9 games, finally going in their favor and finally putting a pin to a wild set.
Good lord, those games were brutal. Congratulations to Rule of 4 and C-Bay. You guys are a force to be reckoned with, truly.
Yeah, these 2 teams are crazy strong, hard-fought battle, well-deserved victory from Rule of 4. They went 3 for 3 in zones maps. They know that zone's a very strong mode for them, but they are strong players in their own right to be taking advantage of it. C-Bay, my goodness, they fought hard, but in the end, just wasn't quite enough. 3 down in that crucial spot, and that is going to do it.
That was an amazing set to watch and commentate, Pinky. I am just very pleased with that. It was amazing to watch the back and forth. These 2 teams are just so even. I am sure that Rule of 4 is celebrating quite loudly right now.
Shout out to Rice holding down the fort for us commentators, showing that you can in fact do it on the mic and on the big screen. The homie there. Shout out to both these teams. That was one heck of a show. I'm sure if they weren't scrim partners before, they definitely should be now.
Absolutely.
That was a phenomenal set from top to bottom. But regardless, that does mean it is going to be the end of the set and the end of our time, at least between myself and Nell. We're going to be throwing off some great commentators. But before we go, gotta know, Nell, where can we find you?
Hi, I'm Nell. You can find me on Twitter or X at NELLF1RE. Nellfire was taken. So, yeah. How about you, Pinky? Where can we find you?
Well, you can't find me on X. You can only find me on Twitter, BrokenPinky_. Shout outs again to Saf, Goat, TO, commentator, and production for tonight.
Thank you so much for saying that. I'm fighting for my life
an
over
amazing
here with
job.
Specam.
Yeah, you did great. This was a great time, great set. Gonna be throwing off to Keon and Jordan here for this next set, or Squidoka, my apologies. But yeah, that's about all from us. Back to you, Saf.
Thank you guys so much. We are so happy to have you here. We are going to take a brief break. We did have to go over our time a little bit to make sure that we finish the action in this game night. So don't go anywhere just yet. We're going to be switching over our commentators. We're going to be switching things over. We have another set for you. And it's going to be a good one too. I promise you that. So once we get things going and we get these folks into the lobby here, we'll get the commentators in and we'll have you guys come back in and join us. Okay, so don't go anywhere. Just a brief break while we get set up. Remember, you're watching Ludi Tonight on SplatoonTourney. Hello, everybody, and welcome on back. Thank you for joining us again over our brief break back on here in Ludi Tonight. I am Sap. I'm now joined with Pinky and Nell again, actually.
Hello.
Turns out it's actually Keon and Jordan. Hello, you guys. It's nice to see you. And we're moving on to our second set of the night here. As you can see, as I update the overlay, it's going to be regular team versus big fat sea cows. Jordan and Keon, take it away.
You bet. I'll lead us off here. Hello, everybody. Regular team versus Big Fat Sea Cows coming up for us here, Jordan. This should be a fun one. As again, we gotta get everything cycled out here. Regular team, I believe, before we went live, regular team has yet to play their Ludi set, and Big Fat Sea Cows has gone 1-0. Jordan.
Yes, yeah. Regular team, they have not yet played their week 1 set, but Big Fat Sea Cows have, and in that set they took it 5-0 over Seki's Nagda. Big Fat Sea Cows have also been playing in Low Ink today and this weekend, and they did make an alpha bracket run today, finishing in the top 8.
I gotta give credit to those guys who are literally just fresh off of Low Ink. I guess fresh is a little relative here, Jordan, because Low Ink happened like a few hours ago. You're already playing through the Alpha Gauntlet, and you're like, okay, we got a Ludi set we gotta play here later today. So, hey, more credit to Big Fat Sea Cows as they're chugging right along. As you know here too, with regular team, you know they're playing their first Ludi set, so this should be a lot of fun. We get a taste of what regular team does, especially with probably the most generic team name I think I'm gonna have here today.
Yeah, they do have a fairly generic team name. They did sign up for Ludi close to the deadline and may not have had much time to come up with a team name, but we can forgive them for that because we hope that they're going to show us an exciting set tonight. As you can see up here, we have the players on each team. On the side of regular team, we have Nerd, Cactus, Joey, and Butters. Cactus, you may know for the familiarity with one Kermit the Frog. And on the side of, as well as, of course, for doing so much commentary and casting for other Splatoon events. And on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows, we have Minnie, Totostar, Lux, Neptune, Now, and Waya.
Yeah, I have covered Big Fat Sea Cows during my time covering a lot of the CCA matches and, of course, other tournaments too. I think I've also done an IPL Low Ink when they made top 32 handful of months back. So I'm very familiar with a lot of the faces there. Neptune, of course, great friend as well. Also big fan from the CCA side of the fence. But I actually do recognize 2 members from regular team. You know that there are 2 Cactus. I do remember Butters, a player whom I have seen throughout many different teams actually over the past. If I remember, actually the Criminals and Sparkling Sea, very old iteration of Sparkling Sea, not the one we saw yesterday on Ludi tonight. So hey, I think both teams, hopefully we get a lot of fireworks. Maybe we get to see this set go to Game 9, much to the chagrin of a few people, the players themselves and probably a few of us out there. But they should be queued up and ready to go. First map of the day will be Make 'em Hard Zones.
Indeed, it will. This is a tried and true map in the time we've had playing competitive Splatoon 3. It is a holdover from Splatoon 2, but it's been here since the start of Splatoon 3, and I think we've given it plenty of love this whole time.
I mean, it feels like Make 'em Hard Zones is almost a staple of many Zones maps. Actually, I'm trying to recall. So normally when I'm on comms here, Jordan, I usually like to note like Final Destination type maps, basically maps that will just get a lot of playtime. Not necessarily how flat the map is. That's a different story. But I'm curious to see what your opinion would be our staples for maps like Zones. I think Make 'em Hard Zones is definitely probably one of the more commonly played Zones maps throughout.
Yeah, it is commonly played. It has a lot of variety. It does give some weapons like sloshers and rollers time to shine. And here we already see there is a slosher on the side of regular team coming out from Nerd and a roller from Now on Big Fat Sea Cows.
Yeah, Big Fat Sea Cows on the pink colored side. Teal side is going to be regular team. I look at the weapons. Crime Man, of course, went with the Rapid Blaster deck was the other thing to note, but I think these are going to be pretty typical weapons I'm gonna get to see here today. It's already starting off with a huge brawl here. 2 members down on the regular team. Big Fat Sea Cows at least has control of the area. There's Neptune taking out Nerd as Big Fat Sea Cows starts things off at the first half of the game.
Yeah, they have put together a great opening push here. Strong control. A lot of the time you'll see that the team that takes control first will only get it down to maybe 90 remaining or so, and the other team will be able to push back. But this time, no, already Big Fat Sea Cows, they've held onto the zone. They've got it down past 60 remaining, getting into like the second real big fight here. But the Inkjet getting popped out by Crime Man, getting a couple picks here, getting the zone neutralized at least as the rest of the team moves in with those tri-strikes to try and take it.
Yeah, and I don't normally see Crunman playing this kind of weapon actually out here. Normally I would see Crunman playing on a lot more long range anchor type weapons out there. So good to see him go for the Rapid Blaster deck. Deco being the other choice. They are able to get the other cap there as well. Only taking it down to 91 before they lose 3 of their own. Total Star and the rest of Big Fat Sea Cows gets the wipe. Regular team's gonna have to respawn back in. 24 points and counting on the penalty side. And Big Fat Sea Cows are looking to pressure them out. Cactus and the rest of the regular team still having to play this one a little patiently. They do got 2 specials available. The Zuka and the Trip Strikes are there. They do pop the Trip Strikes trying to see if they can catch Neptune, who just goes right in between them. And there's no value found, Jordan. This is Big Fat Sea Cows still taking down some of the points.
Yeah, but not for much longer. As they get it to 33 remaining, they burn through that whole penalty. We did see earlier that Mini was in a very aggressive position up there on the stacks there that belong to regular team, but now going down, and regular team are still preventing Big Fat Sea Cows from capturing the zone, but not for much longer. As soon as I say that, it flips. This game goes so fast.
Yeah, the game just moves very, very fast before you know. It's like, okay, maybe they're gonna get a sustained push. And then there are just times where like, nah, that's not at all happening there. Zuka did get fired out there, but regular team losing on a lot of fights. And I feel like this is a classic case of regular team, as noted before, 0 and 0. They have yet to play their Ludi set. I think they're gonna have to find some time to just figure out how to gel together as a group. Again, noting the team that just formed together literally, I think, less than 24 hours before Ludi signups wrapped up here. Big Fat Sea Cows, of course, a very established team there, so I feel like we're seeing a few synergy differences overall. The regular team at least are doing their part to at least keep the to get zones in their favor, but they gotta get a sustained push for themselves. They are able to get this push going. They're out of the penalty points. See if they can win a few fights.
Yeah, and winning a few fights, it does look promising for them as they take out 2 players on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows. Regular team appear to be getting set up around the zone here. They have the paint on it. They don't have necessarily a whole lot of paint around it. That Trizuka coming out hasn't gotten any picks yet. It looks like that is going to be it for it, though. The Trizuka doesn't really get any picks, but it does get the value of keeping the players on Big Fat Sea Cows away from the zone a little longer. Those Tri-Strikes coming out, though, they allow the Big Fat Sea Cows to get in towards the zone, which then gives them a wipeout, and now they take the zone back.
Okay, so Neptune pops the Zuka, just fires it into the general direction where the cooler was dished out. It just leads to the easy 2 because of where the stacks are placed on top of it, and that's just a Mako Zones moment. You kind of put yourself in a position where, all right, Neptune's just gonna fire a Zuka shot right at you, and that's just a quick 2 to begin with. And then again, noted the notes the wipeout. Their regular team isn't going to go down just yet. They actually take out a huge painter on the Sniper side. They should be out of the penalty points here soon for Big Fat Sea Cows, but regular team still has a chance. Cactus takes out Neptune. They do get the zones back in their favor. Total Star might get snuffed out here by Cactus. Yes, they will. Cactus gets 2 by themselves. Regular team still in it. Less than a minute to go here, Jordan.
Yeah, they are fighting hard here, making sure not to let Big Fat Sea Cows get that knockout. The strikes are coming out here, the cooler coming out from Mini, and regular team do lose control of the zone, but they are fighting to hold on to it. They do cap it once again, and there's 45 seconds on the clock, less than a minute. That would be plenty of time for regular team to turn things around and get the lead. In fact, they are already almost out of their penalty time, and if Big Fat Sea Cows aren't able to pull themselves together and put together another push that can get in... Oh, the Zuka comes out and gets that Inkjet. The strikes coming out, neutralizing the zone, and they do capture it. Big Fat Sea Cows prevents that change of lead with 20 seconds left. Now, regular team, they have to recover from a player down here, and they have 15 seconds left to try to take the lead back.
15 seconds left to go. 18 points left in the penalty box there. They got less than 10 seconds. They got to win a fight, but they lose the shot, and that will be a man disadvantage there. But it's still there, all things considered. But there is only 2 members up. The zones got capped by Big Fat Sea Cows. Got a little scary at the end there, Jordan, as we both noticed. But it will be Big Fat Sea Cows taking the first map in this best of 9.
Yeah, getting out to that lead, that scoring 94 points, only 6 remaining. That gave them the flexibility to lose a fight or 2 and still come back and hold on to the lead when they recapture the zone.
Yeah, that was quite the lead that Big Fat Sea Cows hung on to. Regular team almost was able to wrestle that one back for a team still trying to get a good feel for each other there, as we do get a few replays. on the side. I'm kind of curious though, because the shot did go down, which unfortunately led to the man disadvantage there for regular team. At that point, you just had to win out the fight with the last 7 seconds left in the tank. There were also no specials too, so they couldn't really try to rush out the trip strikes. The trip strikes were available, but it was just much too late at that point in time. They had to fight regardless of the situation. Again, nice double, but just not enough time left on the clock there. Jordan, that's what we saw. Big Fat CCal's off to a roaring start. Still pretty warmed up after blowing from earlier. We're on to the game 2 though. Crab Lake Capital Clams is the one coming up.
Yeah. You might have expected Mako Mart to be a game that gets knocked out fairly quickly, like in 2 or 3 or 4 minutes, but you wouldn't necessarily expect Crab Lake Capital to be, and we will probably see another 5-minute slugfest out here. With Crab Lake Capital being a map that is so it's so like they're so big and so hard to push into the enemy plat. You really need to put together a strong push in order to make it that far.
Yeah, for sure. And with Crab Lake Clams, it's gonna be one of those cases where this would be, if we were talking about before the Kraken patch, this would have been the easiest Crack and Cheese map on the board because of how the map's laid out. You don't have that kind of reliability anymore, too. So both teams are going to have to figure out different ways, of course, to fight. I know we're about a handful of months since that patch was dropped, but it couldn't be understated how ridiculous Crab Lake Clams itself can be. So yeah, I'm gonna be curious to see how these two go. I would love to see another 5-minute slugfest. I think you and I both want to see another one.
That'll be great to watch. We want to see these players going at it. We want to see what the teams can do. Even though regular team aren't a team that is as established as Big Fat Sea Cows, they are a pickup, and so they don't have all of that coordination like put together as much. But we saw that they were coordinating with each other. They were working together. They were using those specials and pushing in on those specials to get to the zone. We will see if they are able to do something similar here, because this even more requires that level of coordination.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, okay. Not the weapons I was expecting there. There's that decav there as well that's being dished out. Decav with the inkjet on top, and Neptune with the foil squeezer screen sighting here for the in this matchup. Gonna be curious to see how this is gonna work. Regular team's is dishing out the double Trizuka and the cooler comp as well, but they're gonna have to fight against a screen where you're gonna have to respect the screen the entire way through, and if you want to avoid getting grayscaled there on top of it. So there's a lot of things you need to keep an eye on if you are regular team in this case. And this is also a slightly front heavy comp there as well from regular team. I'm gonna be curious to see how this works out. Zuka, by the way, has been popped by Total Star. No value on that one whatsoever. No time, nothing left in the way they pushes so far other than the one power climb that just got spawned.
Yeah, not only do we have the foil squeezer on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows, we also have a regular vanilla squeezer from regular team. So we'll see that fight of the squeezers here with that splash wall coming out from the side of regular team. Cactus we will see here coming up top the left side, trying to get that fight, but no, they get taken out by the Decavitator. The Decavitator gets another. That's Lux there, taking the space on the top right and allowing the Big Fat Sea Cows to score the first points of this game.
And look at the screen usage too. It's just blocking the entryway, and the rest of regular team is gonna have to maneuver around it, which is a great smoke screen, if you will, for the regular team to just have to buy themselves a little bit more time. Unfortunately for Big Fat Sea Cows, in that sense, they still weren't able to get much extra for a push. They only got a 1+4 in, so regular team still able to hold on nicely, but Big Fat Sea Cows will always seem to lurk large. Well, as soon as I say that, Neptune, and as soon as I say that again, double jinx there on top of it. The rest of Big Fat Sea Cows has to escape. It's a delayed 3 down on top of it. Soapbox is still lurking large. Cryman takes him out. It's a delayed wipe, I believe, and it will be regular team will at least get some control of the map.
That does appear to be a delayed wipe. There is the inkjet coming out. There's Cactus here on the side. Oh, there one gets picked by the inkjet, and there is the basket opened. They built a power clam, and now they are scoring. They are able to take the lead here, regular team. After getting that delayed wipe on Big Fat Sea Cows, now they are in a strong position here. They have more clams. They have the space to score them from. They've made another power clam, and now they are already down to the 39 remaining.
And the best part is that is not the pity clan they picked up at all. That's just natural clans they just picked up and then spawned by themselves. And they are still having decent control of this area, but they don't have enough clams left in the tank, opting to keep the pity clan there in case they need it down the road. That's still a really good push, though. 36 points remaining is very solid. On top of things, but there's still a decent amount of time for Big Fat Seagulls. Regular team, though, that's a great response. And I feel like we kind of got the sense that regular team, over the course between maps 1 and 2, they started to quickly pick up and realize, okay, we can definitely still fight Big Fat Seagulls. We needed that first map to get a feel for how we get to play against them, and especially with teams still newly formed. So regular team, good lead so far. Big Fat Seagulls, though, still a decent amount of time.
Yeah, there are picks getting on each side. There are the specials coming out. Big Fat Sea Cow said, "You have an inkjet? Well, we can bring an inkjet too. How do you like a taste of your own medicine?" However, the recall does get camped, but not before Big Fat Sea Cows can start scoring themselves. They don't get any more than another power clan here, and they're only down from 68 remaining to 64 remaining. They'll need a lot more than that if they want to take the lead here with only a minute and 23 seconds left in the game.
Pay attention to the screen usage on top of it too from Big Fat Sea Cows. Look at how they're trying to use it, try to zone out the regular team as much as possible so that regular team doesn't take the damage and have to deal with the grayscale effect on top of it. As Cactus is sniped out literally by the pencil on top of things, and that might be huge. That is gonna give up some ground over to Big Fat Sea Cows there. Camera's having quite some time trying to figure out which goal it wants to go, but it's gonna be 2 down there from regular team. The rest of Big Fat Sea Cows still working large. They are winning out a lot of these fights. This should be the push coming up here shortly. Yes, it will be. 54 points remaining and 2 down. Big Fat Sea Cows has a chance to fight back.
Yeah, and now Big Fat Sea Cows, they have gone through that penalty with those 2 pushes, and now they did get a power clan. They had so much space in mid, they had so much control over mid that they were able to get that power clan, that extra power clan built very quickly, and now all the way down to 20 remaining. Regular team are going to need around 40 points, more than 40 points to take this. That's more than 2 full power clans.
Yeah, but they wisely picked up power clan with about less than 2 seconds when that got picked up and the push ended there. So this is still a decent time for regular team, but they got to break through the barrier, which they did. That was step 1, and they get a lot more. They turned it to 28. They take the lead off of this one. 19 points remaining, 4 seconds left to go. There's really more clans in. Will this be enough overtime left on the clock? Yes, but barely. This is now they have to rush in, but they're gonna try to move up ahead. Big Fat Sea Cows, that is. They gotta win out this fight. They do take 2 members out. There's the power clan that is available from Mini. Mini's still lurking large. They gotta clear up a lot of space. 8 jets there. They take 2 out. They gotta move this power clan up here shortly. Mini's able to throw this one in. They get out of the penalty points. Here's 22 points remaining. Still taking down all the clams. 13 points remaining. They just need 1 more clam. Lux is able to throw that one in at the nick of time here in overtime. And Big Fat Sea Cows needed 1 last push with less than 10 seconds left of regular time to take home game 2. 2-0 is the set so far for Big Fat Sea Cows.
That was incredibly close. The same score on both sides there. As the clock was ticking down, Big Fat Sea Cows had used up all their clams. They had to find 1 more, but they found it, they held the space, and they threw it in. After that, overtime was triggered very, very late on, because regular team, at the end of the time, the basket was open for regular team, and if they had scored 1 more clam, they might have been able to just end it right then and there. But then the basket closed, the overtime continued. Regular team were wiped, and Big Fat Sea Cows, they turned it around, they scored the points they needed to, and they managed to hold on, to come back and take game 2.
I want to shout out Saf in production by getting that critical replay that was able to help us deep dive what went so over that overtime push. And I got a little nervous there, Jordan. I'm not gonna lie with how that push was developing there for Big Fat Sea Cows from defense. Again, heavy credit to regular team, able to at least get the lead back in the last seconds. I was thinking, okay, maybe Big Fat Sea Cows didn't have enough left in the tank. The 8 jet got a lot of value. The sniper, again, just so oppressive and painted. It just made things so much more difficult for regular team to crawl back. And again, when there too, they lost the fight at the end, which again just gave up so much ground. Lux just throws in the 1 clam, and I feel like so far, Jordan, this has been it feels like every game so far had to go down to the last minute or so. I feel like despite the score 2-0, this is a lot closer than it seems.
Yeah, a lot of the time you'll hear people say this is like the closest 2-0, this is the closest whatever to 0 set. But this right here, those scores have been really close. Like 12 points remaining to 6. Now it's literally a single power clam. Like if it keeps going like this, we're gonna see a game literally tied, and that's not even possible.
I wish this would be the class case of we would have wished to see ties here in Splatoon, but I don't think anybody's gonna be happy about that. Let's be honest here. Yeah, no, you're right. You're exactly right. You get to hear us say that this is a very close 2-0 set. Like depending on the score at the end, we say, okay, this is actually a lot closer than it seems. This is definitely a lot closer than it seems here, Jordan. I feel like this entire set's gonna be defined to what happens in the last minute, especially with ship shape cargo code, where everything can, where depending on how teams play past the first checkpoint, things can snowball in a hurry. We've seen it so far from both teams. They are going for big pushes left and right, and it feels like it's in spurts. I wouldn't be surprised if we see one here in ship shape.
Yeah. In this one, it's definitely going to be a matter of whether you can put together a push that breaks the first checkpoint. Because once you've broken the first checkpoint, this map gets out of control for the defenders, and it gets a lot harder to not only defend, but to come back from and to take that score yourself. Now here we see the Decapitator coming out again from the side of Big Fat Sea Cows. And on the side of regular team, once again, that Slosher. But now we see the 52 Gal Deco.
So I think this is a case of the regular teams realize that, all right, Big Fat Seagulls just got to screen up themselves. We're gonna try to fight you with a little bit of screen warfare here. As the 52 Gal Deco makes its appearance, the curling screen combo for the most part. So we're gonna be we have seen screens being played on both sides so far in this one, but Big Fat Seagulls just opting to go back to just that regular roller there. Lux gets hit by the grates, didn't really need it though, as the zap did go down. And yeah, that screen is just having to stall out some more time there. Big Fat Seagulls so is eating a little too, it's actually firing a lot of Zuka shots. Regular team lost a couple on top of it. Bubbles being dished out there to help protect the rest of the team. And this should be Big Fat Seagulls with only 10 points to go with this push, as they lost some members along the way. Yeah, that first fight, they had that crucial tacticooler there, coming right back afterwards, but regular team were able to win again, get a few more picks, and now regular team have taken the lead. They used that inkjet to their advantage and did not get punished for it. The splatter color screen coming out once again, and regular team have made it to that first checkpoint. The screen doing wonders to prevent Big Fat Sea Cows from seeing the tower, let alone attacking it. And now it's
all the way past the first checkpoint.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off there, Jordan, because yeah, that's a really good point too, because the screen actually does block view of the tower. And what I was actually noticing there was that regular team there, I believe Cactus was the one that was swimming across the tower to be a little sneaky with that one, which was really cool overall there. It's gonna be, however, they should be able to get the lead here shortly. Big Fat Seek, as it is, as we do get to see now actually just playing very up front and in your face. Roller is having to be dished up just a tiny bit, but that is a lead change here, Jordan. Yeah, that is quite some aggression out here from Big Fat Sea Cows, making regular team have to burn those tri-strikes in order to get to the tower, not to stop it from getting past the first checkpoint. And it's already made it almost all the way to the second checkpoint here, going so much further than regular team were able to push it themselves on their push past the first checkpoint. They might have thought that they would be safe there, but no. Big Fat Sea Cows were able to get it even further. Yeah, and one of those things there for Big Fat Sea Cows is just being able to move up front. They realize, okay, we can send 3 up there. There's that roller. Use the bubble to help play this one a little bit more defensively, and that's helping a lot of their cause. As Neptune is not able to get any value out of the Zukas so far, so kind of lurking large. Neptune just touches the tower. Turns out to be a slight error there, as regular team was just all over it. Screen is dished out again, throwing it into the side. They're trying to make sure they help protect this tower path as much as possible, but they sent it in one specific direction there. Regular team had left the other side open, and that might have just been bait. There's Big Fat Seagulls loses a couple more, and because they broke through the first checkpoint, they're able to move up just a little bit further as a unit. We could see a lot of points be chunked out of here shortly here, Jordan, unless Now has other things to say about it. Yeah, the score is dropping down, and regular team have taken the lead. We did see that it took them a little bit of time to get someone on the tower, and when they did, they got 2. Oh, that inkjet cancel was incredible there. But Lux is already right back at it, and now, Crime Man with that
that inkjet of their own does get a lot done before going down with it, and regular team are already past that second checkpoint, down to just 11 remaining.
This set has been big pushes after big pushes from both teams. It feels like no one really wants to keep that lead much longer, but it's also leading to just, all right, we got a big push, and then the other team just follows up with an even better one. We got three down right away, so this is going to be Big Fat Sea Cows. Can they take full advantage and try and play this one very aggressively? They're using the wall and the bubble to maximum effect, protecting that alleyway as much as possible. They did lose a slosher on top of things. This is still a lot of things to keep an eye out for, though, as Big Fat Sea Cows should be approaching the last checkpoint up here shortly. It is going to be 32 points remaining, and they lose 3. Regular team goes 3 down on top of things, and this will for sure be the lead change as the wipeout is there. The respawns will not favor the rest of regular team. 4 points and still counting. It's the KO, and Big Fat Sea Cows gets that last push in, and they're going to be up 3-0 in the set.
That they are. Yeah, those wipeouts from those wipeouts that Big Fat Sea Cows got on regular team were crucial. They absolutely determined the game there. Regular team were throwing everything at trying to take back their side of the map, and the fact that Big Fat Sea Cows were pushed up so far with so much aggression and had the tools to do it with the splash walls, with the big bubblers, they made it impossible for regular team to get into a position to defend the tower. Oh, was that a Zuka triple there that we saw from coming out from Neptune?
I think it was, actually. Just the Zuka flying from the side. It was also great placement, too. Yes, we do. The fabled Zuka shots can always be one of those disheartening things where it just lands and all of a sudden it just takes a few out. But that was probably the more timely shot and the shot you needed to throw out there, for sure. So, yeah, I think it was that triple you saw there, Jordan, that Neptune did, which really pretty much sealed it there for Big Fat Sea Cows.
Yeah, every single one of these games, like you said, big push after big push, and it just will take one lucky break for a regular team, one successful push that gets capitalized on a little bit more that could propel regular team to get off the mark here, to get that score from 0 to 1, and they will be looking to do that here in Game 4 on Hagglefish Market on Rainmaker.
So when I saw this map, when I was helping out, of course, SplatoonTourney with a few things there, Jordan, I was like, wait, I must be going crazy. Is the Hagglefish Market Rainmaker an actual legal map? And I had to literally, I think I cleaned my glasses, then put it back on again, and then realized, oh my gosh, it is actually legal. But the thing with Hagglefish Rainmaker is there are 2 paths you can go. A lot of teams tend to go to the left-hand side in most cases. Some people will try to go for the right, go for that right checkpoint because it feels like it's the shortest path to get there, Jordan. So I like to see how both teams go at it. You also have the jump on the right checkpoint that gets a lot more points along the way. So I'm actually kind of intrigued as to how both teams play, considering that this map doesn't normally get a lot of what I like to call a lot of airtime in other tournaments.
Yeah, you don't see it played in tournaments very often, and it does have some interesting things that make it different from other Rainmaker maps that we see played, because a lot of the Rainmaker maps that have those short jumps from the checkpoint to a much higher scoring position, you won't necessarily see those in tournaments. And so having one here, it'll be interesting to see how the teams approach defending from that exact scenario.
Yeah, and I'm going to be curious how both teams gets to deal with it here. We should be queuing ourselves shortly here for Game 4 coming up here. Again, Big Fat Sea Cows 3-0, probably the closest 3-0 we have seen so far. Regular team, honestly, so many chances to come back as well, so don't count them out just yet. If you're looking at the score, we do take a look at the weapon. It's only really one change, and it's just the 10 attack on the side of Total Star, but it's pretty much as same as you can get with Nerd actually on the regular squeezer this go-round.
Yeah, we have Nerd on the squeezer and Cactus sticking to that 52 gal deco. The pop of the Rainmaker for the first time does go to Big Fat Sea Cows, but one goes down onto that side. That is the roller, and now regular team, they have the numbers advantage until Crime Man goes down himself on the blaster.
Yeah, and now Nerds trying to lurk large. I think they're just having to do with Neptune, who's just been very pesky as a player for Big Fat Sea Cows. Regular team just hasn't found a lot of responses. Sure, some of them were Zuka shots, but these are some great placements of the Zuka shots. So you're gonna have to figure out how to deal with them as much as possible. As Crime Man does go down the left-hand side, there goes the Zap as well. It's gonna be 2 down. They're gonna go for the right checkpoint. It feels like, unless the Rainmaker gets stalled from the backside, and that will stall Big Fat Sea Cows as it stands there. The Rainmaker bubble has been popped once more. It is probably just gonna buy a few more seconds. Yes, it will. Now it's gonna slam this one home, and it will be the checkpoint cleared.
Yeah, that is the checkpoint cleared with the help of that big bubbler from now, just preventing regular team from putting the shots onto it, making it so they have to burn through that whole Rainmaker shield, not Rainmaker shield, the whole big bubbler in order to even touch the Rainmaker. And now, Big Fat Sea Cows, they will want to push a little more, but the Rainmaker is going to reset before they can pick it up, so that is not what they want. They've used up some of their specials, and they don't have as much of the yellow turf that they can paint to get more of it. And now, regular team getting a pick here, getting traded out, but Mini has picked up the Rainmaker again and will be looking to push it forward, 2 going down on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows, but Mini still has the Rainmaker, tanking that screen and trying to get somewhere with it, but not managing to do so.
Yeah, Mini was kind of just stuck in no man's land for the most part. They're having to deal with the screen where Zuka shots were just flying, so have to respect the Zuka shots that could be flying from the other side. But while all that was happening, the rest of the team kind of fell suit. So the rest of the regular team played that one defensively very well. Had to burn a screen though to make that one count. So regular team just needs to figure out a way to just get back into the swing of things. Try to look for members to find. They were able to find 2 both shots. The variants actually going down in there as well. Crime's gonna see if they can find value with this H-Jet. Almost able to take out Mini from the right-hand side. Doesn't seem to land as the clue's been dished out there as well. Rainmaker shots firing left and right, but it looks like it will be the roller there. Now goes down on top of it, and this Rainmaker will be moving up here slowly but surely. Look to see if they can get points on the board for regular team.
Yeah, that is Cactus carrying the Rainmaker, so they won't have access to that 52 gal or its kit for now, but able to get a pick with the Rainmaker. Cactus is scrambling here, trying to get something done before Big Fat Sea Cows collapse on them, and now Toto Star immediately bringing out the specials. 2 specials coming out from the side of Big Fat Sea Cows. Toto Star picking up the Rainmaker.
Oh,
they want to make that jump. They don't make the jump, getting maybe 1 more point out of it, and that does not really help Big Fat Sea Cows increase their lead as 3 go down. Just the roller left, and the roller gets a pick but gets traded out.
Yeah, I see what they were trying to go for right there, trying to see if they can make the jump for the second from that right side checkpoint there, and then jump onwards to that top hand side of the plat. You could say there, but it's just not successful. I think just a little bit of yellow ink was enough to deter them for just a bit, and now the screen's being pushed out to the right hand side. In fact, the shot goes down. I think Neptune went down, and that's a delayed 3. But what a shot! Mini strikes big with the snipe fighter, which drops the Rainmaker as it stands. But that will only buy themselves a little bit of time there, but they lose it once more, and they still can't slam it home. In fact, it's actually just gonna be 2 down there from regular team. This defense very successful, unbelievably, and Big Fat Sea Cows is gonna try to reset this Rainmaker back to mid.
Yeah, that could have gotten scary for Big Fat Sea Cows with regular team managing to not only get the Rainmaker to 69 remaining, they got the pop again after it went down, and they nearly made it, but now, in a blink of an eye, Big Fat Sea Cows have already taken the Rainmaker, they've made that jump, and they're down to 10 remaining, so now regular team have an even bigger mountain to climb.
Bigger mountain to climb for sure. There's only 37 seconds left to go, but they gotta make this push count. The first step, of course, they gotta break through the checkpoint, but then they also have to stay alive and still continue to play aggressive. They could make this one count. They do slam this one home, barely dodging through the Trizuka shots, but now we gotta see if Crime is able to make this one count with the Inkjet there. Still trying to fire right onto Neptune. Neptune had to quickly jump out of there to make that one count. Now they have to pick up this Ranger, but don't go down too fast as 32 points remaining there, and that's a lot of territory. They had to break through Big Fat Sea Cows' side to make this one count. Might have been a little early time to make it happen there. The GG trip strikes has happened, and they lost the Rainmaker anyway. It was a desperation maneuver that just didn't work out by the end of it, and Big Fat Sea Cows is up 4-0. It is going to be match point coming up here for Big Fat Sea Cows.
Yeah, hello to everyone joining from the raid from SplatoonTourney 1. We are in the midst of a set that is currently 4-0, but these games all could have gone either way. The first game decided by a margin of 6 points. Mako Mart went to the full 5 minutes Mako zones. So that's how close it was with the lead changing so many times. It was even closer in game 2 with that clam, with the clams game being decided again in well, not again, but in overtime by a single clam. And then the game since then, Big Fat Sea Cows have taken the advantage, but it has gone back and forth. It has gone back and forth through most of this set, and Big Fat Sea Cows have come out just ahead every time.
Yeah, and Big Fat Sea Cows pretty much winning games out with literally less than 10 seconds, maybe even less than 30 seconds in the first 2 maps. There, the third one was just the full KO, and this one was slightly more convincing there for Big Fat Sea Cows. So they've done a great job, at least being able to clutch out and then just keep getting better in every set. I can say the same thing for the regular team too, where they're also improving what feels like in every set. Again, for a team that's playing what really is their first losing set there, I believe this is going to be a 0-0 record they have yet to play so far. Regular team has been able to make this one count on top of it too, Jordan, but it really just boiled down to what feels like a difference in coordination, and they had to now pull off the fabled reverse sweep or win the next 5 in a row if they want to win the set. It's still possible, don't get me wrong, but it is going to be pretty tough and could get mentally taxing on the way.
Yeah, it has happened before, back in Season 13 here on Ludi Tonight. There has been a reverse sweep on Ludi Tonight before, and these teams, regular team could be poised to do it again, but the thing is, that last push, it's all coming down to crunch time in these games. In the last minute, it is getting swung. It is getting decided at the very end. And we saw in game 2, Big Fat Sea Cows pulled off that overtime comeback. But in game 4 here, regular team were not. They got a little desperate. They tried to rush the Rainmaker further than they could. And now, with the chance to save their set, regular team will need to bring something here, and they are bringing a Sorella Tentabrella with also with Splatana Wiper on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows.
Really, this entire game, I think I've seen only 7 of 8 weapons swapped out across the board. It's not even remotely the same comp we saw in previous matches. There on top of it, we do see a lot more pain from Big Fat Sea Cows. So this is going to be a little concerning for regular team that they're going to have to work this one out, especially with the difference between the Sorella Tenebrella and the 52 Gal on top of it. But this is still, again, still plenty of time, and this has literally been decided within the last, let's say, 30 seconds plus. So there's still time to work with, though. But Big Fat Sea Cows should be able to get the lead here shortly. But they did go to make that delay 3 minutes. Just gonna have to slowly escape here in just a bit. And regular team will be able to strike big, possibly looking for a much more sustained push than what we saw out of the penalty points they are.
Yeah, and one other thing, this does appear to be the first time this set that regular team have brought out the Snipe Rider as their tactical provider instead of the NZAP. And now, here we see that tent shield moving up onto that area, whatever you call it, on the side of Big Fat Sea Cows. Regular team are holding onto the zone. They are getting that tactical or getting multiple specials out, but Big Fat Sea Cows also have 3 of their own specials out. The Zuka coming out, the Bubble coming out in the zone, the Hammer, not quite yet, but there it is. 2 go down on the side of regular team. Hammer looking for more picks. Crime Man desperately trying to stay alive, but not making it. Only having to get assisted there to get the revenge on that Wiper, but the Wiper is already coming back, and now the zone belongs to Big Fat Sea Cows.
I can just imagine playing in my head where the pencil was just having to retreat slowly but surely, when there's an incoming Hammer, it's just running right in front of you with a little bit more speed. It's just a little, and yes, as we saw right there, Big Fat Sea Cows was able to get the trade. We do see a lead change here for Big Fat Sea Cows, but the rest of the regular team still trying to combat strong, just having to work their way around it. They are able to get the recap, of course, throwing in some extra penalty points for the Big Fat Sea Cows to just get through. Both teams still fighting this out a lot in mid so far. Regular team is the one with the push, but there is the Ultra Sand that's being dished up there by Lux. In the distance, it is shut down. The Hammer is indeed shut down. So there goes Neptune on top of it, and regular team should be able to flip zone here shortly. Nobody's able to get out of these penalty points quite yet.
No, the penalty points are still... Oh. Yeah, the penalty points are still going. That Hammer not able to get anything done from Lux, and the Wiper goes down for it. but Big Fat Sea Cows are still able to retake the zone, prevent regular team from putting together another push. Neither one of these teams has really gotten in position to lock out the other. Neptune trying to make something done with that Zuka, but doesn't get anything, and instead gets like blindsided by a Zuka from regular team.
Yeah, regular team decides to have a counter Zuka raid in the wings and just fires it from the side, and Neptune was just like, alright, well, I'm gonna have to just deal with that as it goes. And both teams are kind of just stuck into these penalty points that we are seeing here right now. Big Fat Sea Cows loses one, that is Neptune going down though. And Neptune has been primarily one of their many factors that has helped Big Fat Sea Cows get to where they need to be. The rest team, of course, huge shout-outs to them for bringing support as well, but this is one of those cases where you're gonna have to figure out how to shut down Neptune with the value that they're getting from the Zukas and the shot themselves. It's a bit of a brawl. This zone is stuck into this neutral state. There will be Big Fat Sea Cows getting at least the cap there by the end of things. Jordan, there's going to need to be a lot of pain here from regular team. They are still fighting strong, but they got to look for a big advantage if they want to try to get the zone sustained even further. Yeah,
they do manage to cap that zone with the 10 and the Zukas coming out, but Nerd goes down, having already used their special, it appears. But now, both of the Zukas down, the Killer Whale coming out, the Tacticaler coming out, Tacticolers on both sides, soda for everybody here, as everyone is back up, and Big Fat Sea Cows have burned through their whole penalty, so giving regular team more of a lead that they will need to overcome if they want to survive here. There is less than a minute left. Lux coming out here with another hammer, getting a pick from that street like they did before, and now going down, but Big Fat Sea Cows still have the zone, and only 8 more ticks to clinch this set.
Yeah, just a few more to just clinch the set home for Big Fat Sea Cows, but they have to just retreat as it stands. That's 2 of the huge members going down, but they only have 27 seconds left to go. But here's the thing we want to note right now. There are no specials available. There is still that hammer that is available from Lux if they want to take advantage of it, and this is a good time to use it right now. The rest of the regular team is in possession. They got to find picks, but there's the sniper. That's a good chunk of their anchor gone down, and that's a huge amount of their painting. Shots down on top of it. The hammer's just going to stamp down the zone, and this should be it here shortly, as this will be the sustained push, and Crime Man goes down unfortunately by the end of things, and Big Fat Sea Cows the 5-0 sweep over regular team. Big Fat Sea Cows improves to 2-0 in this Ludi season, and regular team just drops their first game of Ludi so far.
Yeah, that indeed. Big Fat Sea Cows, they have played 10 games across 2 sets. They have not dropped a game in Ludi so far. They are definitely a team to watch here. How was that wiper, though? As a wiper enthusiast myself, I was very impressed by those relentless flanks coming out, those hammer plays, getting the picks that were needed, allowing the rest of Big Fat Sea Cows to take the zone, and getting in there to keep getting the zone down. It went all the way to 0. The time went all the way to 0, even if the score did not. Just like in the Mako Zones game, these teams were fighting hard. Either one of them really could have won this if they had managed to get together a slightly stronger push enough to get the timer all the way down to 0.
Jordan, I think we've hit this one home multiple times. This is a classic case of the score of the set does not tell the entire story. It for sure didn't hear. You're gonna have to go out to the VOD and look at this one. It wasn't like a whole washout of a 5-0 sweep. It was very close from start to finish. You noted there too early in the broadcast so far. We saw that Big Fat Sea Cows pretty much key clutch moments time and time again from the first 2 maps that we saw there, and the game 2 was the clutches of all clutch. Let's be real here, Jordan, because regular team swiped lead with about 10 seconds left. Big Fat Sea Cows wrestled it back right during overtime, and then just that momentum just kind of carried themselves all the way through. Regular team still very, very competitive the entire way there, Jordan. So again, if you're a regular team, if you're looking at that center, and you'll be pretty disappointed, of course, possibly not too happy to see that 5-0 sweep end the way it did, but there's a lot of good things you can take from the set.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was gonna say exactly the same thing. There is a lot that regular team can take from this set. They can look over those VODs, they can see what went well for them, because there were plenty of things that did go well for them. They got successful pushes. They nearly had game 2. In fact, I believe the basket was still open when overtime started, and Big Fat Sea Cows had to wait for it to close before they would be able to score. Now, on Crab Leg, there is a lot of time to get across the map, so it's not too much waiting, really, especially with the the wipeouts that they were able to get, but still having to go from having your basket open as time was running out, getting overtime still, and then putting together a whole push to get to the other side, that seriously gave Big Fat Sea Cows an extra boost and prevented regular team from possibly putting together a dominant performance of their own.
Yeah, and Saf, I'm gonna put you on the spot here as our lovely producer for the night. I think from what we saw there from Big Fat Sea Cows and regular team, that 5-0 scoreline really didn't tell the story. And I'm sure you were probably watching it from your seat there as the set progressed on. Uh-oh. Looks like you're muted, though.
Anyways, I said some thoughts, but I'm proud of Big Fat Sea Cows and what they've done. Keon and Jordan can tell you what I just said. But anyways, except for my closing thoughts, Keon and Jordan, do you have any closing thoughts for us about what we were watching this evening? Keon, let's start with you.
What we saw this evening... Jordan, I'll take this away from you while we get to recoup everybody there on top. We saw earlier today, Division 4 went all night. That was a beautiful set. And then what people will go from this 5-4, they go to this 5-0. Look at this 5-0 set and see how competitive it was from start to finish. It really boiled down to a few clutch moments at the end of it, and I know Saf's thoughts was pretty much kind of the same way as mine. It was like you got to see that how Big Fat Sea Cows and regular team, the difference between the two. It really just boiled down to a few clutch moments there on top of it, and by the end, it really just boiled down to who had the bigger push by the end. And I know the big games 3, 4, and I think 5 told a very different story. Jordan, I'm also curious to see what your thoughts were, with the set, and maybe what you saw here in Louis tonight.
Yeah, like I said earlier, it is really coming down to those last-minute clutch plays and whether the teams would break under the pressure. And Big Fat Sea Cows, I know, Saf, you were seconding this before, that Big Fat Sea Cows, they did not break under the pressure to hold on, to come back as they needed to in the last minutes of those games.
Yeah, for sure. Saf, if once I think you're off mute now, according to the lovely people in chat, the one time I'll actually get to break protocols. You're here now. We'll kick it back. We'll kick it back to you if you want us to, or we can plug ourselves, whatever you want to do.
You know, why don't we close out the night here? It's Sunday night. We're tired. We got a whole week ahead of us. Week 3. We're now done with week 2, folks. We are done with week 2. We are moving on to week 3 next week. If you know what, if I were to open a web page, if I were to go in and type on the Google machine, Keon and Jordan, your socials and things, and if I wanted to find you somewhere on the interwebs, where would that be? And Keon, can you tell me first?
I was about to troll you and say I'll kick it to Jordan, but I'll do it first just because you said it. Guys, find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Blue Sky. Twitter and Blue Sky, of course, Keon2570. Twitch is Keon2570. The usual social media pages for the nonsense. The Twitch is for my variety stream, so smash the follow button as you guys can. And by the way, before I kick it over to Jordan, I want to say for you, Saf, thank you so much for producing. It's a very difficult very difficult thing to do. I've done it before as well. I've been through your shoes as well when I helped when I've done production for a Splatoon League, so I can feel the pain and probably the soul leaving a couple times throughout tonight. So and just give yourself a lot of props by the end of the day.
Reel it back in.
All right. No, just reel it back in. Jordan, where can the people find you?
Yeah, you can find me. I am on Twitter at Squidoku_. I am on Splatsville.social at Squidoku, and I am on Squidboards at Squidoku_. You can also find me here on Twitch at JordanPie. I don't really stream myself. I'm also on Discord at JordanPie. And honestly, I may not be experienced with doing the stream production, but as a caster, I have nothing but appreciation and respect for our stream organizers, our camera operators. Saf, you are essential in this, and we're very glad to have you.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot. I appreciate that a lot. It's really challenging out here. This is really hard. Like, this is not easy. Falco makes it look really easy. Dynamite and Jorian, they all of our casters make it look so easy. And you guys, it's really challenging. It is really challenging. Falco has created a really great system for us to use, for all of this to like look the way that it does. And also shout outs to Moo. The Moo also did a lot of our graphic designs. So we appreciate that as well. Just, yeah, super grateful. But as for me, if you want to find me anywhere, I mean, don't perceive me sometimes, but if you really want to, at Safirea, that's 2 P's, 2 A's, on Twitter, sometimes on Blue Sky. You can also find me just like roaming the waters. I work on boats. So you can just find me cruising around some islands or whatever and boating and whatnot. But that's going to do it for us tonight here on SplatoonTourney. We do have week 3 coming up next. So the Ludi action will continue. The weeks will go on and the season must go on. So we appreciate you so much. And we hope to see you next week. And remember, you're watching Ludi tonight on SplatoonTourney. See you next time.